Chicago Bears is that right now we're in the playoffs by clinching our division, but right now we want to get the home field advantage. And the only way to do that is to be consistent in these last 3 games that we're playing and win them, so that will assure us one home game during the playoffs. And that's what we're shooting for.
Loud crowd is expected for the meeting between the Chicago Bears and the San Diego Chargers. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, along with Don Meredith and O.J. Simpson here. The standings in the NFC. In the Eastern Division, Dallas, the Giants, Washington, all knotted up at 9-4. As you can see, Chicago's 9-4. But Chicago, if they can continue to win tonight, win against Green Bay at home next week, and then Detroit, they would know that they would play at least the first playoff game at home in Chicago. They really want to do that desperately. San Francisco, 13-1. They're assured of the playoff advantage throughout the playoffs. And Ed Luther will open for San Diego tonight. Dan Fouts, we understand, available perhaps if they desperately need him, but they're going to go with young Ed Luther, Don.
Pretty big shoes for Ed to fill, Frank. And he came in, of course, last week against Steelers. Did a good job when Danny went out. He came in and played well. He's actually started the game 6 times. It's not one, but one of them. But he's got a big job tonight, hasn't he?
Well, he has his hands filled because he's going up against a defense that's led by, among others, this man, Dan Hampton. They're #1 in the NFL in just about every category, against the run and against the pass, and they have 53 sacks, which is a Chicago record, Frank.
Set to go on the left, the Chicago Bears. They'll be receiving the kickoff for Ralph Benershka. Jack Cameron is back there, number 30, along with Dave Duerson, youngster out of Notre Dame, and we are about to get underway. For San Diego, they are 6-7 on the season. They are out of it. They have been injury-wrapped and playing for pride tonight. Benershka puts it up high, and Duerson will bring it out. And Duerson hit hard out at the 16-yard line, driven back there by Cliff Thrift, one of the inside linebackers. And we'll watch Steve Fuller tonight, who has started the last 3 games, making his 4th start tonight. If you follow the game, you know that Jim McMahon was injured several weeks ago, severely, a lacerated liver against the Raiders 4 weeks ago, to be exact. And Steve Fuller, who had been on the injured reserve from a preseason injury, has done remarkably well. He's thrown the ball 74 times, allowed no interceptions. In fact, he has been the hottest passer throughout the month of November. Mike Ditka, the head coach, plays no turnover football. Low-risk passing opportunities. You can do that when you have a Walter Payton. But we're looking at the other setback, Matt Suhey. Suhey hit at the line of scrimmage, moves up for a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Here is a defensive unit the San Diego Chargers hope they can go with tonight. They have changed so many times defensively, primarily in their secondary. They have started 8 defensive backs over the year. In all, they have had 65 players on their roster. Now, you compare that with 51 for the Chicago Bears. They have only lost 2 to injuries throughout this season, so you can understand why the Chargers defense, which is way down in the NFL, 14th against the pass, last in the NFL, is in desperate trouble. Fuller, handoff, Suhey, bounces off tacklers, good hard runner. You'd probably hear more about Suhey if he wasn't playing in the same backfield as Walter Payton. Suhey with a gain of about 3 to bring up a 3rd down and 3. There is Matt Suhey out of Penn State. Did a little bit of everything at Penn State. Good athlete, good blocker for Walter Payton, who, of course, has set the all-time rushing record in the NFL, surpassing Jimmy Brown earlier in this season. Payton needs 20 more yards to go to 13,000 for the season. Just a remarkable football player, Walter Payton. Of course, he wears number 34, as he has for the past 10 years. And this is our first look at Walter Payton. Payton out close to the 1st down. Not only has he set the all-time rushing record, he broke Jim Brown's record for career 100-yard games. He became the NFL's all-time combined yardage leader. He is also the Bears' all-time leading pass receiver, and he's the leading receiver coming in tonight. He also packs Mike Ditka's lunch, I think, too. He does everything.
Well, I tell you, on that run, he wished Calvin Thomas, number 33, his fullback, would have gotten out there a little sooner. He was waiting for Thomas, and it allowed the pursuit to get there, and I think he may not have. Well, he did. He still got the 1st down.
And there's Mike Ditka in the 3rd and final year of his contract with the Bears. Coached with the Cowboys for 9 years. Played pro football for 12 years. 5 Pro Bowls. What was it? About early 70s, late 60s. He caught 75 as a tight end to set the standard for tight ends. I think against him personally in '63, the last time the Bears had a championship team, and they beat the Giants 14-10. First down and 10. Peyton picking up the first down. Peyton again. Ports the guard with the block out front, and Peyton just hurtling that body forward for about a 4-yard pickup, but a flag is down.
That's fun.
Holding against the Chicago Bears. They've only been penalized 3 times, I think, over the past 3 or 4 games. They have been remarkably penalty-free. Our referee tonight is Chuck Heberling. And, of course, Mike Ditka's counterpart tonight is Don Coryell.
Holding. Offense, number 33. First down.
Well, Calvin Thomas out in front of the play, holding. And for this man, it has been a troublesome year. He lost his leading rusher in Chuck Muncie in a celebrated story that I'm sure you've all heard about. He lost Kellen Winslow, a great tight end, a few weeks ago. And Kellen Winslow, to tell you how good he was injured 4 games ago. He still is tied with Charlie Joyner, who set an NFL record a week ago on receptions for the year. First down and 20. Peyton got a screen, got a block in front of it. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
That was a good call, and it appeared as if it had developed real well. As you know, Chicago's a very conservative offensive team, but when you have the type of defense that they have, you can play conservatively. The worst thing you can do is get those penalties on first down and force you in a passing situation, but they made the most of it by throwing a very conservative pass. And you see Walter, you get him a little room. He can do a lot. Unfortunately, he had one of his own linemen come over and assist in the tackle.
He couldn't get out of Mark Martz's way, could he?
They mark it out over the 25-yard line, so it's second down and a long 11. Peyton now, a single setback in motion. Fuller looks downfield and dumps it to Suey, and Suey is covered quickly. Good defensive play over there, and you could expect it from Woody Lowe. Good active outside linebacker, number 51 for the Chargers. It'll bring up third down and long yardage, and the situational changes take place here in San Diego. Third down and 9.
We were talking about Chicago being a conservative offense. In this game, I think to win it and do well, they're going to have to throw the ball downfield. Dick Butkus, you talk about one of the great Chicago Bears, and for my money, maybe the greatest football player I've ever seen. But I think Chicago's going to have to throw the ball downfield and take advantage of this beat-up Chargers secondary.
Third and 9. Fuller's a lot of running room, but he cannot get free. Fuller almost popped it loose, but he was snared there by Fred Robinson. They call him Big Dog down here. Got him earlier in the season on waivers from Tampa Bay, and so the Bears are stymied with their first offensive possession. The key play by Fred Robinson, a rookie from Miami. Lionel James, the smallest man in the NFL, drops for the Chargers on fourth down as Dave Finzer comes in to do the punting for Chicago, averaging a little over 40 yards a punt. Free agent, picked up this year by Chicago, actually was with San Diego this past summer. Finzer doesn't turn over, and James at his 31-yard line. Runs into his own man. Hey. And James cuts it back inside. Good running out to the 39-yard line. That was a 45-yard punt by Finzer and a 9-yard return by Lionel James. The Chargers, their first possession coming up. San Diego with their first possession of the ball game. Don already mentioned Ed Luther will open a quarterback. Dan Fouts, full groin, sore back from a week ago against Pittsburgh. Ed Luther in his 5th year out of San Jose State. He's one up and stepping back to collect the ball.
How many times do you see that?
Right in front of Mike Richardson is one of the fine receivers in football. Is 89, Wes Chandler. We saw that a lot yesterday, Don.
Wes actually has been hurt, as a lot of these Chargers have off and on during the year, but that pass we've seen so many times. It's underthrown. The receiver has the advantage when he comes back. Yeah, we have to have some big plays.
Yeah, we saw Mark Clayton do that all day yesterday against Lester Hayes. He was covered, but he made fine adjustments to the ball.
And Duper also did it. First down and 10 for the Chargers. 36-yard line of the Bears. Luther back again. A lot of time as he slides out of the pocket, but good coverage, trying to get it to Wes Chandler. Let's take a look at the offensive unit. Guy that will have his hands full tonight is Sam Clapham over in the left side of that offensive line, working against the NFC's leader in sacks, Richard Dent. But here's Ed Luther, came in when Fouts was hurt last week, as Don mentioned, was 21 of 32, 296 yards, a couple of touchdowns. And of course I mentioned Kellen Winslow going down several weeks ago with an injury. And the people who have really taken up the slack have been Charlie Joyner, who set an all-time NFL record last week, replacing Charlie Taylor as the leading all-time receiver, and the tight end. Bobble coming away from the center. And covered by San Diego. And Wayne Morris covers for San Diego. Let's take a look at the opening 4-3 set of the Bears. It's not a conventional 4-3. They move around, and the tough side is that right side with Richard Dent and Dan Hampton. Al Harris having a big year at linebacker. And Sean Gale, a rookie from Ohio State, opening at right cornerback. And there is Dan Fouts. Full groin, sore back a week ago.
And if you're hurting, Chicago is not a team that you want to play against.
They're down 13. And incomplete. That just bounced off the back of one of the Bears, Dave Durison.
Dave Durison was as surprised as anybody. Ed's going to have to settle down a little bit by his own admission this morning. He says, you know, the one thing that you don't get, I've been lucky in many respects to watch Danny Fouts play, but the other, he says, unless you can play, after a time, he said, that's the only thing I can improve, and he hasn't had a chance to play much of that.
That play was a time and play. He had Bobby Duckworth, number 82, open going across the middle. He just didn't time it up right. The pass, that is.
Maury Buford to punt. Jeff Fisher will be back guessing with him. He looks for the sideline. He does not. He puts it up high, looking for the coverage underneath. But Buford is called for the fair catch and executes, or rather Fisher, the fair catch at the 10-yard line. And the Bears will have their second possession tonight. Coming up, still no score. We'll be back in San Diego in a moment.
Walter Payton ran for 76 yards, the longest run of his NFL career in a Monday night football game. It was at Denver on October 16, 1978.
Didn't seem that long ago. Interesting style of running, O.J.
Yeah, it's amazing he can collect those yards without that blazing speed, but some of the other guys get those easy yards once they get in the open.
Bears first down and 10. The ball resting right at their own 10-yard line. Fashionable in motion. Payton over the left side. And that shows you one of the reasons he can get so many yards. He is unbelievably strong. He can bench press 390 pounds. He gets 5 yards in the traffic right there. Actually, he's closer to 6 yards.
He is really not a very big guy. This morning at our meeting, stand by you, O.J., he really looks small.
Yeah, well, that's in stature, his height, but his body, if you look at his arms, he has the arms of a guy about 240 pounds. And he has one of the great stiff arms you'll ever see in football. I'm sure you'll see it before the night's over.
Second down and 4. Fuller gets it out. Wide receiver, Willie Galt. Willie Galt questionable tonight with a questionable hamstring.
You love to see a guy. Steve Fuller came up as a highly touted rookie, went to Kansas City, and the Rams, I believe, had him for a while. He's not played. He's come back in. They tell me this kid with the Clemson, 4 years and made 1 B. The rest of them were all A's. Now, that reminds me of my college career.
Well, he shouldn't make any mistakes here tonight.
He hasn't made any so far.
Speedster Willie Galt in the game now, wide receiver. He didn't open tonight. He split out to the right from Steve Fuller on first down and 10. The ball out of the 26-yard line. Payton once again. Good block on the outside with Bortz on the trap block, giving Payton plenty of room on the inside. But he is hit at about the 29-yard line, held for about a 3-yard pickup. Call it second down and 7. It is interesting. You know, he also led the NFL in that same year in kickoff returns.
And in his 4th game this season, he played against the Detroit Lions 3 games after this particular game, and he gained 0 yards and 10 carries. I guess it was against...
that
Well,
first
we're
game.
talking about his 4th game against Detroit when he ran for 0 yards and 10 carries.
2nd down and 7. Fuller in trouble. Gets the ball loose. Forced to try to get it in the general area of Pat Dunsmore, but he really pays for it back around the 21-yard line.
One of the things they said they were going to do is you see Steve kind of limbering up his shoulder. They feel he's maybe a better rollout passer, and therefore he's rolling out.
I'll tell you, he's going out. Now, he had a separated shoulder, as I mentioned earlier, in training camp. He was on the injured reserve up until they had to bring him back when Jim McMahon was injured the first time, and he tried to play then, and he couldn't, so they had to bring in Bob Avellini. He gets hit here and goes down on that shoulder with a lot of weight on top of him. So we're going to see Rusty Lish come in. Rusty Lish for this season, 15 of 28, no touchdowns, but 4 interceptions. They got him on waivers from the Cardinals this year, so he has not seen that much playing time. Rusty Lish, the former Notre Damer. Ooh, and
That might be all for him, too.
Lish is really hammered as he gets first down yardage out over the 35-yard line.
Yep.
And you get the feeling, we'll check on it, but we don't know for sure whether that's the same shoulder he damaged in training camp. We'll try and get a report, but I can tell you there's nothing hurts like a shoulder. And with the weight that was on him, that could even be a clavicle injury.
And that is, of course, the one he's throwing with. It's really kind of ironic. We were talking to Walter this morning, and with Steve not being totally healthy, McMahon being out, the Bears are trying to prepare for that, have an offensive formation where Walter is set back in the old tailback position, and
Could well be that.
yeah, we might see that tonight.
36-yard line, first down Bears. Calvin Thomas, and Thomas is held for a couple of yards pickup. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 8. I want to remind everyone that a week from tonight, we're going to be in Detroit with the Raiders, who, of course, are continuing to strive for their playoff spot. They might be the best team at football right now. They played tremendous football against Miami yesterday, and they will be going against Detroit, but it's a special time at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Many people have asked, why don't we bring it on at Eastern time? Well, we're going to bring it on at 8 o'clock Eastern time. That means 5 o'clock here in the West Coast. We'll see what happens.
Everybody's got to get the car portable televisions out here on the West Coast.
2nd and 7 at the 39-yard line. And Rusty Lish with a fine shot, getting it in there to Willie Goff. And the Bears are in charge of territory near the 47-yard line, a 13-yard pickup. And say a little bit more about Rusty. Told you he came on waivers this year from the Cardinals. Last year with the Cardinals, he didn't play that much either. He was 6 of 13, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
Got the nice size. There's the 6'4", 215-pound quarterback they talk about.
And I think sooner or later they would take advantage of this Chargers secondary. You're looking at Billy Kay, number 31, one corner, and Lucius Smith, number 33, another corner. And they were at home 8 weeks ago. They weren't on any NFL roster.
At the 47-yard line, Walter Payton. Walter Payton hit first by Billy Ray Smith, who comes underneath. Gains a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. I got a feeling the offensive coordinator for Mike Ditka, and that, of course, is Ed Hughes, will talk to that offensive line and say, look, we're down to 1. We're down to Rusty Lish. And it is a good offensive line.
Big, too.
Young.
One of the biggest. Big, young line is right.
All of them homegrown by the Bears. You don't see that much in pro football anymore. Either a draft pick or at center, a free agent, Jay Hilgenberg. 2nd and 8. Draw play. Thomas. Chargers read it well. He gets maybe a half a yard out of it. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long yardage for Rusty Lish. Woody Lowe in there defensively for San Diego. They've got less than 4.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. No score from here in San Diego.
Well, Don, I guess if a coach has won his championship of his conference, he's not going to go against what's worked for him, and that's probably why they're not throwing the ball downfield right now.
That's really what he said today, and I can't blame him. Hey, he's got a great defensive team.
Willie Gault split out to the left. The great would-be Olympic speedster. Lish trying to get the ball into the tight end Moorhead. It's incomplete. And the Chargers have held once again. but the Bears now in deep trouble at quarterback. They cannot, they feel, bring Jim McMahon back before at least playoff time. He is much better. He had that lacerated liver from 4 weeks ago against the Raiders. So Rusty Lish is the man on the spot for Chicago. Finzer to punt. Lionel James is deep for San Diego. Finzer looking for the corner off the side of his foot. Poor kick. And San Diego will get good field position. And they're going to mark that somewhere around the 25-yard line. 20-yard line. We'll be back in San Diego. San Diego, no score, 3:53 remaining in the first quarter. The Chargers with the football at the 20-yard line. They've made some offensive line changes. Don Masek has come out at center. Wilkinson has moved over from guard, and Goforth has come in at left guard for Wilkinson. And this is Ernest Jackson, who has been one of the bright spots for the Chargers all year long, coming into the night 973 yards, needing 102 yards to regain the AFC rushing leadership from Marcus Allen. Allen at 1,074 now. But Jackson has been really spectacular this year. When Chuck Muncie was taken off the roster, suspended, this youngster stepped in, an 8th-round draft pick from a year ago, and has really performed well. Second down and 8. Oh, boy. Jackson again. Good defensive play. Trademark of these Chicago Bears. Mike Singletary in on the stop with Otis Wilson. The Bears into tonight first in every division, every category defensively in the NFL. Overall, against the rush and against the pass.
That was a real unusual play. It's rare that you'll see a quarterback turn around and pitch to a running back who's running off tackle.
He can pitch it to Ernest because he doesn't fumble very much. Good hands.
Third down and 8. Bobby Duckworth, Wes Chandler, the wide receivers. And you saw the strategy of the Chargers, a good look at it. They kept 2 backs in to help out and try and protect Ed Luther. And there is Steve Fuller. You weren't with us. Well, he went out with what has now been reported, a slight shoulder separation. I can tell you there are no slight shoulder separations. Oh, nothing as painful as a shoulder separation.
Slight shoulder separation.
Sideline man, Bill Edwards, I don't think ever had a shoulder separation.
I had a slight one. Only hurt for about 6 months.
Buford punts, and he has to hurry it. Jeff Fisher is back. Buford got it up high enough where Fisher felt advised to make the fair catch, and he does so at the 37-yard line. Still no score. 2:27 remaining in the first quarter from San Diego. There has to be deep concern on the part of the Chicago Bears. Steve Fuller on the sidelines with a slight shoulder separation. Rusty Lish, who has not played that much, drafted by the Cardinals back in 1980 out of Notre Dame. He's not played much. Payton doing his thing. Flag goes down late as Payton erupts over the left side for about 6 yards. Billy Ray Smith there defensively, and they'll bring that one back, holding Bears. Tell you a little more about Rusty Lish as we watch Mike Ditka. In 4 years with the Cardinals, he only played in 2 seasons. Didn't play at all in 81 and 82, but for the 4 years, he was 12 of 30. 5 interceptions, 1 touchdown.
Holding. Offense, number 87. First down.
Tight end, Emery Moorhead, a holding. What I was trying to point out about Rusty Lish is he's on the spot, and he certainly has not scintillated over the past 4 years.
I'll tell you something else. Rusty Leach was a quarterback at Notre Dame who started ahead of Joe Montana. And at times when Dan Devine was a little disenchanted with Montana, he put Leach in there.
First down and 20. Good pass. Gets it to Dunsmore. And Dunsmore in the hole. And now they're saying the Chargers have it. Now they're indicating incomplete.
You could just see that one coming because there were too many Chargers around there. That ball kind of floated up. Had to be it was the only spot it could get in there. Now watch it. This is a pretty nice touch here. Over the head. Dropped it right over the linebacker. That's Lyndon King, and man, he's going to get hit there, and he did, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what
never had was bobbling the ball, never had control of it, so they'll bring it back to the 27-yard line. It'll be second down and 20. Emery Moorhead replaces Dunsmore at tight end, Moorhead, a former Giant. They have been alternating, bringing plays into Rusty Leash. 2nd and 20. Copy of screen. Speedster Willie Gault. World-class speedster. As Leash fires, gets the ball to Moorhead. Moorhead gets a little bit of it back as they mark it up around the 33-yard line. But it'll be 3rd down at about 13. 1:55 remaining in the first quarter, and there is no score from San Diego. A game the Chargers would like to win strictly for pride. They are out of it as far as playoff hopes are concerned, but for Chicago, they feel it's very important. They have to, they feel, win their remaining games tonight. Then they have Green Bay and then Detroit. Then they know they will have that home field advantage for at least the first playoff game the weekend after Christmas. 3rd and long. Leash has a man open, and Moorhead comes down with it. No, out of bounds. He would have been short of the first down in any event.
He was bobbling the ball after he caught it. If he'd have caught it clean, I think he could have turned up and maybe he would have gotten the first down. As it is, even if he'd have kept it, he would have ran out of bounds as we look at it on replay. Watch here. He's short of the first down, about 5 yards here, and he's bobbling the ball as he tries to turn up. It appears that he got control of it before he went out of bounds, though, even though he didn't have the distance for the first down.
Lionel James is back. 5'6" and 171-pounder. Now, for nothing else, you have to admire his courage, but they'll tell you here that he is one tough little cookie. 5th-round draft pick out of Auburn. This is Dave Finzer.
That was a bring back.
Another short kick. James. And the little one out of the 35 to about the 37-yard line, and they've got some tempers flying around here. Bears are back to playing Mike Ditka's kind of football. He was a feisty, roughed-up tight end when he played. George Halas loved Mike Ditka. Loved the way he played. Loved the way he would take on anyone on the field. He's got his team playing that way. We'll be back. Tom Bass, interesting man, 2nd tour here, now in his 3rd year at San Diego, defensive coordinator.
He's got his little, you see a little strap around his arm. He got somehow tied up in his kicking net last, was it 2 weeks ago? Tore some kind of something up in his arm. He's done a good job for him. In the hospital last week, though, before Pittsburgh game. 3-hour operation.
1:14 remaining in the first quarter. San Diego at their own 38-yard line. Luther under pressure, but gets the ball into Severs. Severs will have a first down over midfield to about the 49-yard line. I'll tell you, these tight ends, Severs and Houlihan, playing hurt throughout much of the year, have really taken up the slack after the loss of Kellen Winslow.
That was a nice job that time, I thought of Ed. Big Ed Luther staying in the pocket, waiting till he opened up.
Don, I'm surprised that they're staying in the pocket. I thought against the pressure of this Chicago team, they would roll out more and do short rolls to try to get away from that heat inside the pocket.
First down and 10.
Could be trouble.
McGee. Rupert McGee, the man who broke that run that broke Miami's winning string, the rookie out of Mississippi, gets first down yardage inside the 33, and one of the most durable of all the Bears, Mike Hartenstein, has gone out. He has a twisted left knee, we are told. He played in his 144th consecutive game tonight. We are told that he might be coming back.
One of the reasons you have to look at every game like a playoff game, because the minute you say this is an easy game, we don't have to work hard, you find guys getting hurt. They're getting hurt anyway, the way they're playing today.
First down and 10. With the movement, several Bears came onside. Luther had a free shot. Chandler was wide open, but Luther was under pressure. You saw the movement by the Bears. 2 or 3 moved at once.
That was strange, wasn't it? They usually blow a whistle on that one, but evidently no contact was made.
There's McMichael, the defensive left tackle, looking on. Bears will be charged with an offside, but that was one that Luther could have had free.
Well, I think Luther threw it up. Wes Chandler had his man beat Sean Gale right away, and then he even started to ease up a little bit.
Number 76, first down.
he started to ease up a little bit, and Luther threw the ball downfield and tried to pick it up to get to it, just couldn't get under it.
First down and 5 now. They marked it at the 32-yard line. Wayne Morris, 25. And they're now Jackson single setback, and they'll try him up the middle, and he's hit by Singletary, the middle linebacker, one of the fine linebackers in football today. Sort of characteristic of the Bears, he is a real hitter. Final seconds ticking off here in the first quarter. Bears really want this one tonight. They would like to play that first game of the playoffs at home, and they know they have to win throughout to be assured of that. The Chargers have the football. They're near the 30-yard line of the Chicago Bears. No score in the game thus far. Chargers surprisingly strong on defense. Ed Luther. Right. That's through the corner for Wes Chandler. That timing pattern that we've seen Dan Fouts capable of completing so often even before the break. Luther overthrowing. Let's take a look at the numbers for the first quarter. Time of possession. Chicago dominating. Not a whole lot of numbers on that board. The deepest penetration up until now is where we are right now. The Chargers at the 30-yard line of the Bears. They were at the 36 once before. And the Bears have not shown much of anything on offense thus far. They, however, have lost their quarterback, Steve Fuller. Third down and 4. Luther trying to dump one to his big tight end, Pete Holohan, incomplete. That'll bring up fourth down.
That was the defense that the Bears were talking about today. They actually have 8 guys up there. There's only 7 guys to block them. They'll charge. The one that's not blocked goes, but that time the guy was left open. That ball was should have been completed.
Not a bad play to have called. Probably an automatic. They don't even call when they see that defense set up. We're going to watch Rolf Benirschke. 13 of 19 for the season, his best of 51. Well within range. Second leading field goal kicker in the history of the league, behind Nick Lowry of Kansas City. 48-yard attempt. Luther gets it down.
Yes, sir.
And the Chargers score first. They're on the scoreboard, and a sellout crowd with a lot of empty seats cheering for the San Diego Chargers. They lead the Bears 3-0. Jack Cameron is deep with Dave Duerson for the Bears, awaiting the kickoff from Rolf Benirschke. Chargers on top, 3-0. Here, as we begin opening play in the second quarter, Bears, for the first time this season, did not score in the first period of play. Dave Duerson. And Duerson to the 25 and out to the 26 on a 22-yard return. ABC's Wide World of Sports is returning this Saturday. 26-yard line, first down Bears. Chicago thus far has only managed to get to the 45-yard line of San Diego through 1 quarter of play. Walter Payton. And Payton again having trouble with the pesky Charger defense. These middle linebackers, Mike Green and Billy Ray Smith, are really growing up, Don, for San Diego.
What happens to a guy like Payton, though? You know, every time somebody plays, every week, somebody's always going to try to set a new defense for him. And Tom Bass told us this morning, he says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to assume that Walter's going to get 75, 80 yards. We want to try to hold him under 200. I mean, under 100, or maybe 200 is what he was talking about. But you got those middle linebackers in there. Those guys are playing. They're playing good. They're good hitters.
Billy Ray Smith, Mike Green, both rookies a year ago. Both were starters. 1 and 2 in tackles for San Diego. Second down and 8. Lish is down, and a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Chuck Ian in there defensively for San Diego. The flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
What's going to happen to those Bears if they let the Chargers just keep going? Well, Frank mentioned they're going to be playing so loose because they're not any kind of playoff picture. They're going to go out there and just have some fun.
Well, Walter Payton, I think he would like to get the ball and start just running what they call muscle plays. You know, he's accustomed to playing with a team without a great quarterback, and with their 2 starting quarterbacks, McMahon and now Fuller out, this is not an unusual situation for Walter, but I think this Charger defense is quick. If they have an advantage on defense, they're a very quick unit, and what the Bears will have to do to get something going here is stop trying to run exotic plays and just run some muscle plays at them and beat them up a little bit, soften them up for later on.
Third down and 18. Lish From the shotgun, they reverse it to Walter Payton. Speaking of exotic. And the Chargers, Lyndon King, stayed in position. Dropped Payton after an 8-yard pickup. It'll be 4th down, and the Bears will have to punt again.
There's a little touch of what you call your conservative football, isn't it? I don't say that I blame him, however, but 3rd down and about 20. He says, let's just give it to Walter.
And amazing, every yard this man makes from now on is NFL history. First back ever to get over 13,000. Fenzer getting a workout, the punter for Chicago, as we look at Lionel James. Averaging just under 9 yards in punt returns end of the night. Doing a little better than that. In the second quarter, San Diego on top 3-0. 48-yard field goal, Bernushka. Fenzer, fine punt. Hangs it, turns it over, and drops it at the 30, where Lionel James calls for the fair catch. 45-yard punt by Fenzer. San Diego, they're charged up. They'll be back in a moment with the ball. Of course, unable to go tonight. Injured in a 52-24 loss to Pittsburgh a week ago. Injured groin, sore back. So we're watching Ed Luther. 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Luther trying to get to Duckworth. Duckworth well covered. Sean Gale, the rookie from Ohio State, and a smattering of boos starting to accompany the play of Ed Luther.
I wonder why. Oh, I guess that's what it was. You just overthrew him. That was another one of those strange little defensive looks that we've seen over there. They had 4 or 5 guys down.
The Chicago defense is based on pressure, and that pressure is beginning to work now. And what the Chargers will have to do is start rolling out. They're going to have to roll to one side to get away from some of that pressure.
Pressure coming from Richard Dent and Dan Hampton. Dent, the leader in the NFC in sacks. 2nd down and 10. Jacksonville storming defense. Otis Wilson in there on the stop. He is having a great season. 5.5 sacks into the night. A first-round draft pick, one of several first-round draft picks that start for the Bears. Loss of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 13.
Danny Boy sure missed him, and I tell you, for him to be over there, you know he's hurt. But he's a groin injury he's had before, and it was kind of aggravated. But he was hit from all sides when he went out that time. He hurt all over.
7 NFL records, 22 team records. Dan Fouts, they sorely miss him. 3rd and 13.
There's that roll.
Look out, Ed. Luther only putting 2 people in the pattern, trying to protect him. That wasn't a design roll. He just had to get out of there. And the Bears had 6 defensive backs covering 2 Chargers downfield. He had to run the ball. 4th down, Buford on again. And Jeff Fisher drops once again to the Bears. He can bring it back. He brought one back 88 yards against Tampa Bay when he was a rookie back in 81.
Stop penalty! No penalty! Let's go!
Buford, low kick, the kind you can run back. And Fisher takes it up the sideline and steps out of bounds near the 39-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10. Good field position for Chicago. They trail 3-0. We're in the second quarter from San Diego. It's consistent. Chicago unable to generate a lot of offense. They're not dazzling on offense anyway, other than Walter Payton when he's having a hot day. But they don't turn the ball over. And they play good, solid defensive football. They get their share of turnovers. They've only turned the ball over 20 times into the night. At this point a year ago, they've turned it over 32 times. This is the Bears' best starting field position as they begin 1st down and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Fish. Will he go? Oh, he's got great speed. He's going all the way back, picking up the picket line. And he doesn't have that great of speed. It's Ian, who was playing defensive left end, just stopped there and waited for him to come back. A loss of a couple. We asked Walter Payton how Mike Ditzke's taking over as coach has changed this Bear team. He's been a veteran.
Well, I think with Mike, what he's instilled into this team is that last couple of years we would go out and we would look for ways of losing the game. In other words, we would play, and then when something happens, the other team score. Then we would say, okay, that's it. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. But now it's a little bit different. We're out looking for ways to win, and we know that we can win. I think that's contribute to him and the way that he approaches the game of football.
Second down 11. This is Calvin Thomas on the screen, and that's covered well also. Billy Ray Smith raining all over Calvin Thomas, a gain of about 4. It'll bring up third down and 7. And Walter Payton can speak very knowingly about Mike Ditka, because Ditka came in, took over the Bears 3 years ago, and they had only had 2 winning seasons in 12 years. And, of course, I mentioned that a very unlikely coach for Tom Landry, kind of a rough, tough sort of a guy, but he served 9 years under Landry. There are 3 Landry disciples coaching now in the National Football League. Makovic at Kansas City, Danny Reeves at Denver, and, of course, Ditka now at Chicago. Disciples? One way of putting it. Third and 7. Wow. Leish. And the collective breaths are held on the sideline to the Bears with Leish, I think. Well, did they mark it down? Yes, they've marked it down. His progress at the 45-yard line. The Bears will maintain possession. They'll have a first down and 10, but I said they were holding their breath on the sidelines of the Bears. If they lose Rusty Leish, they're going to go to Walter Payton in some sort of a tailback offense.
The old shotgun routine.
That'll be fun. I'd like to see that. You see Rusty had a lot of room up the middle. He didn't get much pressure there, and he does what he had to do. Heads up ball. He took off and got the first down.
That looked like a fumble, too. You also saw him do something else. An inexperienced quarterback or a guy hasn't played very much. He didn't look very long to that receiver. Let him uncover. And he just took it down and ran. Get some more experience. Maybe he'll sit back in there. He didn't have to run that time.
The booing, of course, the partisan crowd feels that he had coughed it up, but the Bears maintain possession. Walter Payton, right side, and Walter Payton finding absolutely nowhere to go tonight. Gets a yard maybe out of that. And bring up second down and 9. But he'll run it all night till he does get that break. Let's take a look at it from the reverse angle, and you can check your opinion against the referee's call.
No, that's not a fumble. The ground cannot cause a fumble. He was hit. He hit the ground, and the ball came out then. So that was a good call by the officials.
They make more good ones than they do bad ones. Stop throwing bricks at your TV set around the country. Payton now, 26 yards, 7 carries. Rusty Leish looking over a second down and 9. Leish, man wide open. That's Moorhead. Incomplete.
Did he drop it, or was he just...
I think he was bobbling it once again as he slid out of bounds. Ken Green providing the coverage there, but Moorhead, a former Giant for several years.
That was another pattern. It's always easy to second guess, but Brad Anderson, the wide receiver, was coming inside on that pattern, and he opened up a big hole in the middle that time. He did have, of course, an opening out to the outside, too, for Moorhead.
Third down and 9. Chargers not a terrible threat in the pass rush. They only have 27 sacks this season. Bears have almost doubled that. Leish. And Dunsmore can't hold on. A pass that should have been caught by Dunsmore.
McPherson. Uh-oh.
Oh, and the tempers are flaring. They have been from the very start of this game. In any event, it'll bring up fourth down. And the Bears really frustrated on offense.
Well, you don't like to see fights, but with the Bears having already cinched their championship or their playoff spot, it's good to see that they're this fired up for this game.
I think it's as much frustration as anything else. They have been unable to do anything with what I'm sure that many of them felt, the Bears I'm talking about now, was a very weak defense. And statistically, it has been that over the year, but they're playing the Bears tough tonight. Lionel James once again. Dave Pinzer on to punt for Chicago. 8:32 remaining in the first half. San Diego leading 3-0. Pinzer puts it up high. Lionel James didn't call for the fair catch. He loses about 3 yards out of it, and it'll be marked at the 14-yard line. Ed Luther, final instructions from the sidelines. They'll have possession when we come. First down and 10. San Diego with a 3-0 lead. They're at their own 14-yard line. 8:21 remaining in the first half. Little mix-up in the backfield. Wide open is Duckworth. And Bobby Duckworth, splitting the defenders, gets to the 41-yard line, even though there was a mix-up that could have caused a bit of a disaster back around the 5-yard line. Ed Luther was able to get it to Bobby Duckworth, and he was right between Gary Fensick and Sean Gale, the rookie from Ohio State.
Now, this is the play-action pass, Don. It was just real slow faking back there.
It was.
It was not a mix-up. They were just real slow in making the fake back there, and there's Bobby Duckworth. You see why he's averaging 24 yards a catch coming into this ball game.
He is the speedster.
Hey, they're a little slow back there, O.J., because I don't think I've ever seen that many crisscrossing in the backfield.
Yeah.
But it was effective. They mark it at the 42. First down and 10. The Chargers leading 3-0. Holohan in motion. Oh, yeah, and Holohan, usually sure-handed, does not hold on. It'll be second down and 10, and we'll pause 5 seconds and allow our friends and stations around the country to identify themselves. San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium, where we're watching the San Diego Chargers with the 3-0 lead over the Chicago Bears. Benershka had a 48-yard field goal for the only scoring of the night. The Bears, of course, 9-4, Central Division of the NFC. They clinched that division, but they want to win the remaining 3 games. Looking for that first game playoff spot at home as we watch Ernest Jackson of the Chargers over the left side, and he'll get about 4 yards before Gary Fensick, one of the fine tackling defensive secondary men, makes the stop.
It's a nice job on Anderson's, Ernest Jackson's part. He got the ball, and instead of trying to fake anybody, he got as much yards out of as he can. Gives his team an advantage on 3rd down and just 5 to go. But, Don, you just asked me what happened to that quick pitch pass.
That was it.
Well, they weren't running it to Peyton. Well, that's the play that they should be running to Peyton tonight.
Yeah, I think if you can get that ball quick to the outside like that with the Walters moves, he's going to pick up some yardage.
And San Diego, their confidence is going to start building even without Dan Faust in there tonight.
They really will, because they don't have anything to lose. They're going to really be playing loose. He's got a guy open. Nobody there.
Goes to Sievers, and he's short of the first down as they mark it inside the 35-yard line, short by about 3 yards. Once again, Gary Fensick defensively there for the Bears.
Charlie Joyner was open down the middle there, too. Charlie's looking back. He was standing, kind of looking back at Ed Luther. Said, wait a minute, I had a little bit more yardage down here.
4th down, and what will they do?
Got Benershka in there. They're going to try it again.
They've let Benershka try as far as from 58 yards out. His long for the season is 51 yards. Let's see where they put it down. This will be a 53-yard attempt. That would be match his career best. He's got plenty of distance. Off to the right. And Chicago will get the football back, and they'll get it at the line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line. Benershka missing from 53 yards out. They have really been banging around the Chicago Bear offense. We'll be returning with Chicago's possession in a moment. The Bears have not been thrilling offensively tonight. They have had their problems getting started against the Charger defense. It is way down, dead last in the AFC. They had the 1st and 10 to the Bears. And this time they get the completion. This is Krink, first-year man out of Nebraska, number 89. That's his first reception for the Bears this season. And he'll get about 8 yards out of it, out to the 42-yard line.
On that play, you saw why Walter Payton is considered by many people to be the finest all-around running back that has ever played the game. He came across on a fake. He picked up Lyndon King, a guy who weighs 250 pounds at 6'5", and just put a beautiful block on him.
He loves to block. Who doesn't? Walter.
I don't know if he loves
He says he does, anyway. He says, I like it. I like it.
On 2nd and 2, a quick count by Leach. Gone. That split defenders incomplete.
Had a little pressure back there that time. Chuck Ian was coming in to put a little pressure on our boy Rusty. Rusty's got to be settled down now. He's had that first little rush of what am I doing, and I'm the only one left. Now he realizes, hey, I am out here, so probably go play a little bit better.
I don't want to see Rusty Lish get hurt, but I sure would like to see Walter play quarterback in that single wing.
You know, Walter, he was really funny and cute about that. He said, you know, if things go really bad, we can get back there. And he's thrown, you know, Walter has thrown for several touchdown passes. I'd like to run that shotgun.
Speaks almost in a whisper.
That's right.
But you saw the smile on his face when we discussed his passing game. All running backs would like to be passers.
And all passers would like to be runners.
Race now 5 of 11, 27 yards, 3rd down and 3. Peyton won't get the 3, and he'll lose yardage. He's buried back inside the 35, but they'll mark it right at the 40, and we'll see the punting unit once again for the Bears, and they're going to wear out Jeff Fisher.
Tom Bass is proud of his boys. He says, let's go get them. He actually took responsibility, he said, for that Pittsburgh game. Let's take another look at it.
Yeah, as you see. No, well, he's moving, but I don't think he came across the ball. The ball was snapped right as he started to make his move. And right now, San Diego is just too quick for Chicago.
But actually, that did cause it because he knocked off that lead block.
Lionel James is back. Pins her to punt. Low kick that doesn't turn over. James will have an opportunity, but he fouls the ball. And then collects it quickly at the 26-yard line. So San Diego still leading 3-0. 4:14 remaining in the first half. We'll have a first down. The ball at their own 26-yard line. 37-yard punt. The ball once again directed by Ed Luther. Dan Fouts on the bench. Injured last week against Pittsburgh. Chargers first down and 10. The ball at their own 26-yard line. Luther buried at the 21-yard line.
They collapsed them that time, didn't they?
54 sack of the year. And, of course, the Bears are really proud of that. That's a new Bear record. Washington leads the league with 58 sacks. Seattle has 55. And now the Bears have moved into a tie with the Raiders with their 54th sack of the season.
That was a little, they call it tricks, I guess, up in the middle of the line that time. Hampton came from his tackle out to the outside. They just all fell right back in the middle of them.
Yeah, they did a good job of pushing the pocket back and then getting their hands up so the QB couldn't see.
Lost of 4. Second down, 14. Little confusion on the part of the Chargers. So they call timeout with 3:48 remaining. And the Chargers leading at 3-0. The Chargers, 2 timeouts remaining. We'll be back in a moment. Announcement brought to you by the National Football League, and the NFL charities continue to fund worthy national causes with a grant of $10,000 to the Betty Ford Center in Rancho Mirage, California. This took place a little bit earlier. Wonderful lady, Betty Ford, accepting the check from Alex Spanos, the owner of the San Diego Chargers. His first year as owner of the team, having purchased the team last summer from very colorful Gene Klein, who is going to live a quieter life, so he's gone into thoroughbred racing. And he is doing ever so well. He's got some really fine horses. Second down, 14, 3:48 remaining in the first half. San Diego at their own 21-yard line. They lead 3-0. Luther, Jackson. Jackson is hammered at the 25-yard line. So Richard Dent coming in late to rain all over Jackson.
Good hustle by Dent, though. He had actually made a good rush and got back into the middle of that pocket.
Well, he's something.
And reacted so quickly, you'll see him come back. Watch him. That's Dan Hampton, 95. Hartenstein, 73. But watch out of the middle of this pack, number 95. Now, that is hustle. He's on the other side. Way to go, Richard.
Richard Dent, he's 6'5", 253 pounds, an 8th-down draft pick a year ago, and he allowed Dan Hampton to move inside, and they have really been toughened up with the acquisition of Dent a year ago. Third down, 13. Luther had no chance. He just had to throw the ball, get rid of it, avoid the sack. And now the Bears toughening up defensively. They are starting to pop out there, and San Diego will have to punt. And this time the Bears should get it back. Good field position.
So funny, when you come to San Diego in the past, we've always expected these air coyels and high-scoring games. When we were here earlier, Seattle beat San Diego 24-0. So almost 6 quarters, we've only seen 27 points.
Well, it's like the Miami Dolphins are the new San Diego Chargers. They scored 34 points and lose. I think they've done that twice in the last 3 weeks.
Roy Buford to punt again. Jeff Fisher is back for the Bears, standing at about his own 35-yard line. Buford hurries one. Fisher bobbles it and covers it quickly at the 40-yard line. So even though Fisher bobbles the ball, the Bears, who have been very slow offensively tonight getting started, they'll have good field position. We'll be right back. Bears offensive coordinator Ed Hughes probably going back to the drawing board because the Bears have had 6 possessions tonight. They have penetrated only to the 43-yard line of San Diego. They have had to punt on each occasion. They have a first down at 10, the ball at their own 40-yard line. Leash. Calvin Thomas. Thomas turned loose at the ball. Are they going to mark that as the possession? Let's see how they work that one out. Bill Elko defensively working against Calvin Thomas coming out from the nose tackle position. San Diego saying they got the ball back.
Well, the ball was moving around. I don't think any of the officials saw that he may have dropped the ball.
Well, we'll work it out. Referee Chuck Everling bringing in his assistants.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Can't make a call if you don't see it.
Before the runner hits the ground.
So it will be San Diego's possession. The Bears now are complaining bitterly. One of the officials apparently saw the fumble occurring before he was stopped. Let's take a look. The completion to Thomas, and let's see what happens.
Okay, let's look at his knees. Let's see if he's down. That's the big key. Well, it's still hard to tell.
Hard
the ball
to tell.
just come out. You can't tell if his knees was down.
Well, San Diego in any event has the football at the 41-yard line. They have a 3-0 lead. 2:30 remaining in the first half. Not a well-played football game by the Bears offensively. The Chargers surprisingly strong defensively. Jackson. And now the crowd perhaps inspiring the Chargers somewhat as Jackson rips off about 9 yards.
They caught him in a good defense that time. The Bears were blitzing. They had Otis Wilson, Mike Singletary coming in from the other side. So he did get that linebacker support. They came around the corner that time.
It's a big series. Let's take a look at it. It's a big series for the Chargers because the Bears certainly aren't a come-from-behind football team that they can get up by 10 points. And you see Ernest Jackson doing one super job of staying with his blocks and stretching out the run and picking up 9 yards.
Looking for that first down marker. He didn't quite get there. It'll be second down, less than a yard. Charlie Joyner, all-time leading receiver in the NFL for San Diego now, has not caught a pass yet. But Jackson will get a first down, stays on his feet, and almost pops it loose. Gets to the 26.
How many times have we seen Fensick do that? Coming up from that safety, he's been a real competitor, a good hard hitter for a long time. That's one of Howard's favorites. He likes the Yale, he said. Here's your...
When you play the type of defense that Chicago plays, sometimes you're going to get burned by a run. If you can break a tackle, you can go all the way. But you saw Gary Fensick came up, had good position, and stopped him, but it was a first down.
2-minute warning. And for San Diego, it'll be a first down at 10, 26-yard line. But we are going to join Jim Lampley right now.
All right, Frank, and a look at the big marquee item on yesterday's menu, the Dolphin-Raider battle. Every bit as spectacular as had been anticipated. Having won it, the Raiders are now 5-0 versus Miami since Tom Flores has been head coach. Marino raised the touchdown pass total for the season to 40, an NFL record. Clayton caught 2 touchdown passes, working mostly against Hayes. He had a spectacular day. That one put Miami up 27-24 in the third. A seesaw game, which the Raiders didn't put away until 1:43 to go. This long touchdown run by Marcus Allen, who got away from all the Dolphin defenders and the police dog in the end zone. The Raiders will be on Monday Night Football next Monday night from Pontiac, Michigan at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And Frank, with all those great athletes on the field yesterday, the most impressive might have been Mike Haynes at corner for the Raiders.
Hey, we're really busy, too, covering the 2 marks. Mark Clayton and Mark Duper.
And that other end, Marino, going over 400 yards throwing the football. Right. That's incredible.
At the 27-yard line now, the San Diego Chargers first down at 10. They lead 3-0. The Chargers have 2 timeouts remaining. Chandler in motion. This will be Jackson, right side. Jackson breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage by Otis Wilson and will pick up about 4 yards, stopping the clock, stepping out of bounds at 1:55.
Give us 6 yards on the carry.
Otis Jackson, they have to suspect that at 5'9", when he was overlooked in the draft going in the 8th round, well, everyone seemingly thought he was too short. Last year, only carried the ball 11 times for 39 yards, and all of a sudden now he's vying for the AFC rushing championship.
Hey, the stat I like, he's only fumbled 2 times.
That's in well over 250 carries or handles of the football. 2nd and 5. Luther has time. Holohan is there, and he's to the 11-yard line. First down, San Diego. Mike Singletary made the stop, but San Diego is really showing something tonight. A lot of heart, if nothing else. Injury decimated. This man perhaps the finest quarterback, or certainly right there with him in a lot of years to come along on the bench. He can't go because of the pulled groin and the injured back. Slowly, excuse me, Frank, at the 11-yard line. Seconds ticking off. Down close to a minute 15.
Good
tackle, Gary Finzig.
Hey, that was good because they caught that linebacker on the inside. That a nice little turn-in block. I believe that was Otis Wilson they kind of hooked in there. He got on the outside.
Mike Ditka. Don Coryell.
I love Coryell's expressions on the sideline.
Oh, they're beautiful.
He gets into it, doesn't he?
Only coach in the history of football to have won over 100 games professionally and as a collegiate coach. Former San Diego State and Whittier College coach with a great record. Second down and 10. Luther. And Luther had one receiver trying to get off the line. Holohan held up, but Sievers was there. Only a gain of about 2 yards. Timeout called by San Diego. When they come back, they'll be looking at a 3rd down and 7. And we'll be back after this message. San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. The San Diego Chargers leading the Chicago Bears 3-0. 31 seconds remaining in the first half. The Chargers have a 3rd down and 7. The ball inside the 10-yard line of Chicago. Luther. The pressure's there. Luther under tremendous pressure. Hartenstein was in there. Richard Dent was in there. And apparently Don Coryell liked the fact that Luther was forced to throw it away.
He'd much rather throw it away than throw it to one of the guys in a white shirt.
Applauding a successful throwaway.
That's what you call support from the bench.
Benershka, he's provided the only scoring thus far in the evening. He hit earlier from 48 yards out. This will be a chip shot. '27-yard line. Luther will place it down. Gissinger will provide the snap. Yes. Rough. So it's 6-0 with 22 seconds remaining. Here's Jim Lamptey once again.
All right, thanks, Frank. More highlights coming up at halftime, but first a look at the Rams, who stayed in contention for an NFC wildcard spot as Eric Dickerson had another big day in pursuit of O.J. Simpson's single-season rushing record. Dickerson, you're going to see his longest run of the day at 21 yards. As the graphic showed you, he now needs 223 yards to break O.J.'s single-season rushing record of 2003. And on the last Friday night of the season, you'll be seeing Dickerson against the San Francisco 49ers here on ABC in the game in which he most likely will be gunning for that record. Yes.
And O.J., he has Houston next week, and then we'll watch him Friday, December the 14th. He needs 223. That'll be tough to get next week, but I want to see you smile when you go down and take his hand before that game on Friday. I know you think so highly of him.
I don't want to talk about it.
Come on, O.J.
Oh, me.
Tell you, if it's going to be broken, and all records are meant to be broken,
He's a good one.
he is one of the finest I've ever seen come into this game. He has great speed and size, everything.
And the education he received at SMU is the one thing that could actually propel him past that record.
Actually, I'm going to get a chance to see him tomorrow morning, talk to him a little bit. He's as good as they get, that's without a doubt.
Benershka hits it, and finally, Jack Cameron had to field it. And Cameron waited, hoping it would trickle out of bounds. It did not. Cameron gets it to the 22-yard line, returning at 16 yards. And there are 16 seconds remaining in the first half. And San Diego, surprisingly, on top of the Bears in a game the Bears feel they desperately need. They can control their own destiny if they can win tonight, win next week at home against Green Bay, and the final Sunday against Detroit in Detroit. That would put them ahead of any of the possible 3 from the NFC Eastern Division. Dallas at 9-5, the Giants at 9-5, and Washington at 9-5. And the Bears must finish ahead of those 3 from the NFC Eastern Division if they're going to play that first playoff game at home. On first down, Leak. Good time to have the screen to Matt Suhey. And Suhey to the 39-yard line, upended there by John Turner. First down, Chicago. They'll use one of their timeouts. They have 2 remaining. 17-yard pickup. Leash, of course, in there because of the injury to Steve Fuller, a separated shoulder in the first quarter. And we will be in Detroit watching the Raiders, who are right in that playoff picture, too. And as I mentioned earlier, perhaps playing the best football of the season, maybe the best in the NFL right now.
In good shape.
New time now, 8 o'clock Eastern time. That means 5 o'clock in the West Coast, and of course an hour difference right across the country. And then there's the game we spoke of a moment ago, the Rams against the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco, of course, has clinched the NFC Western Division. They are 13-1, guaranteeing their home field advantage, and could be, guys, that San Francisco will have to go 30 miles to play in the Super Bowl that we'll be covering for you January 20th.
Right there in Palo Alto.
Beyond, they practice right around, well, Redwood City, so they really wouldn't have to go 30 miles.
I bet they appreciate us getting them in the Super Bowl already. Don't you know they love that? You like to hear that. They're a long way away, but they got a good shot at it.
I tell you, next week is going to be a tough game for the Raiders. Detroit normally plays them pretty tough, and I think they're 2-2 the last 4 times they played, and the Raiders have lost the last 2 times they've been back to Detroit. So it should be a good game.
I'd like to think you're right. First down and 10, 38-yard line.
He is an optimist.
That's the time remaining in the first half. With San Diego on top 6-0. Jim Lampley will provide highlights for you during the halftime. Leash is back on first down. Puts one up.
Hey, he's going a long
65 yards. He got it. There comes. Oh, they did not hold on. Grant Anderson had it in his hands. And he could not hold on, and time has expired here in the first half. Not that it would have mattered because time had expired and there was no flag. So the Bears will go into the locker room. They'll hear some rumbling from Ditka, I'm sure of that. They have not played well here in the first half. We'll be back
in a game between the team with the NFL's all-time leading receiver and another with its all-time leading rusher. It is 6-0 favor of San Diego. Good evening. It is 2 weeks remaining in the regular season, and at this point, 5 teams have clinched playoff berths. There are another 9 teams which are in contention for the 5 remaining playoff spots. Tonight's highlights will concentrate on the 3 divisions whose titles have not yet been clinched, starting with the one in which 4 of the 5 remaining NFC contenders can be found. The grittiness of the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Cowboys must be mentioned. All 3 teams watched the Redskins win on Thursday night. All 3 then went onto the field yesterday and kept pace. NFC East standings remind you of how the American League East often looks in baseball. 4 teams still in the hunt for the division championship, including the Giants, who played a road game in Giant Stadium yesterday. About half the crowd seemed to be rooting for the visiting team, and the Giants didn't disappoint them. Joe Morris fueled a solid running game that helped the Giants to a 17-0 lead in the 3rd quarter. Then when Ken O'Brien brought the Jets back in the 4th quarter, a goal line interception by Mark Haynes preserved the Giants' victory. The Dallas Cowboys also relied on defense to beat the Eagles in Philadelphia. It was defense which got them on the board in the 1st quarter. When Joe Pisarcik threw into the right flat, the ball easily picked off by Dennis Thurman, who went 38 yards for the 3rd interception return touchdown of his career. Danny White had his worst statistical day ever as a starter, despite this 57-yard touchdown pass to Ron Springs that made it 14-3 Dallas in the 3rd. The real hero on offense for the Cowboys, Tony Dorsett, knocked cold in the 1st half, then came back in the 2nd half to finish the game with 22 carries for 110 yards. The Cowboys play the Redskins at home next Sunday, then finish at Miami in our last Monday night telecast of the season. And likewise, the Cardinals relied on defense to beat the Patriots in New England. Neil Lomax has accepted the limited role created for him by opposing umbrella defenses. He hit Doug Marks for this 1-yard touchdown to make it 7-0 early, then turned the ball over to O.J. Anderson, who carried it 30 times for 136 yards. 8 sacks of Eason by the Cardinal defense, led by E.J. Jr., who knocked the ball loose from Craig James there. Thomas Howard picked it up, ran it in 29 yards for the touchdown. 14-0 St. Louis on the way to a rout. The Cardinals host the Giants next Sunday, then finish the season at Washington. 100 or a losing record, but that now appears to be a strong possibility in the AFC Central Division. Just a few weeks ago, the Steelers looked as though they were a lock to win it. Since that time, they've been stumbling. Cincinnati was 2-6 at midseason. Rookie head coach Sam Wyche was being presented by some as a candidate for early dismissal. And injuries may yet halt Cincinnati's playoff drive. But for now, Wyche looks pretty good, especially after a surprise call yesterday for a tackle-eligible pass in a game-tying situation. The race in the AFC Central has been created by Cincinnati's 5 wins in the past 7 games. Yesterday, the Pittsburgh Steelers lost an overtime game for the first time since the adoption of that format. Houston winning for the third time in 4 games behind quarterback Warren Moon, who set an NFL record for season completions by a rookie quarterback. This Stan Edwards touchdown put the Oilers on top in the 4th period. Pittsburgh came back to tie it, but lost in OT. The Steelers finished against Cleveland at home and the Raiders on the road. The schedule advantage belongs to Cincinnati, which will finish with New Orleans away and Buffalo at home. Here were the key plays in the dramatic victory over Cleveland. Minute and 8 left to go in the game. Rodney Holman blocks Steve Cox's punt. Then Holman recovers the ball at the 28-yard line, which set up a chance for Boomer Esiason, the rookie quarterback, to tie the game for Cincinnati. Here's the tackle-eligible pass to number 78, Anthony Munoz. Not an easy catch for Munoz, who had to move to his left to pick up the ball. There was 1 second left on the clock when the Bengals tied it to send the game into overtime. Jim Breach won it with a 35-yard field goal to keep the Bengals' playoff hopes alive, but now they must face the prospect of playing the rest of the season with Esiason at quarterback. Both Schonert and Anderson have separated shoulders. Happy times now for Sam White. In case you missed the first half, we've got a little bit of a shocker in San Diego. The Chargers on top of the Bears, 6-0 at the half. We'll be rejoining that game very shortly. Meanwhile, there was a time a few weeks ago when it appeared that the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Raiders were on the verge of dropping from playoff contention. But now, as a result of their victory over Miami yesterday and St. Louis's win over New England, the Raiders are virtually assured of being in the American Football Conference's wild card game. And of course, you'll see them next Monday night in Pontiac, Michigan at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The playoffs in the American Conference may take on a distinctly Western look, as the Seattle Seahawks are now battling with the Dolphins for the right to stay at home through the conference championship game. After a whole season of chasing the Broncos, the Seahawks are now looking down at them. Seattle won yesterday. Denver lost in one of the most cruelly poetic stories of this or any other season. A week ago in the closing seconds, with a chance to kick a field goal that would tie Seattle, Rich Karlis hit the right upright. Yesterday, in the same situation against the Chiefs, he hit the left upright. The hero of the game, Kansas City kicker Nick Lowry, whose 3 fourth-quarter field goals won it for the Chiefs, kicking in the NFL a life of feast or famine. And in the Kingdom, Seattle easily disposed of the Lions as Dave Craig threw 5 touchdown passes, 29 for the year. Only Dan Marino among NFL quarterbacks has thrown more. Another brilliant day for number 80, Steve Largent. 12 catches last week against the Broncos, 8 yesterday against the Lions. This touchdown in the second period made it 14-10 Seattle. But on the next series, Detroit showed some funk. Danielson throwing down the middle to number 30, James Jones. The 15-yard touchdown put Detroit back in front, 17-14, shortly before halftime. Here was the key series of the game, though. Seattle came back to take control. 40 seconds remaining in the half. Craig would pass the number 81, the Michigan State rookie Darrell Turner in the right corner of the end zone. Watch Turner put his feet down for the touchdown that made it 21-17, Seattle at the half. Later in the game, in the 4th quarter, Turner would catch another touchdown pass to make it 28-17. Number 81 scoring from 51 yards out on this one. He has 9 touchdown catches on the season and has emerged as a legitimate contender for AFC Rookie of the Year honors, along with Louis Lips of Pittsburgh. Seattle will finish up with the Chiefs at Kansas City, and then the rematch with the Broncos in the Kingdome, December 15th.
Back in San Diego, ready for second half action. The Chicago Bears, feeling that they desperately need this game, will kick off as we look at Kellen Winslow, injured 5 weeks ago in a game against the Raiders, knee surgery. He says he will be back. It was a severe injury. He was out here on a very cool night for San Diego to help celebrate Charlie Joyner Day. The mayor of San Diego proclaiming Charlie Joyner Day today. Mayor Roger Hedgecott, Charlie Joyner's coach from Grambling, Eddie Robinson, was here to help celebrate the fact that he's now the league's leading all-time receiver. Bob Thomas kicks away for the Bears. This will be Lionel James from the 12-yard line. James has an open field. Lionel James down to the 35-yard line, tripped up by Jack Cameron. He had to go through a lot of gymnastics, but he brings it back 55 yards. Here comes the little train.
Does a good job. He gets behind his wedge there. He breaks it off to his left, that's the move right there. He turned up the pursuit. Obviously, they weren't watching him his way. He makes one little mistake. He slows down to make this move. And you can't slow down and make a move, but he's done an excellent job of giving his team field position on the 36-yard line.
Whoa, whoa, that way go Lil Train.
Bears in trouble once again. They're trailing 6-0. First down and 10. Ed Luther, of course, remains the quarterback. Dan Faust, unable to play tonight.
Oh, boy.
And Luther again, feeling the pressure. This time Otis Wilson, the linebacker, was breathing on his right side. Pass intended for Wes Chandler. Thus far tonight, Charlie Joyner has not had a reception, as Ed Luther has been 7 of 16 through the first half for 99 yards. The total offense generated by San Diego, 133 yards, but they do lead 6-0 on 2 Ralph Panercia field goals, 1 of 48, 1 of 27. Second down and 10. Holohan in motion.
There's a little rollout.
Getting the ball to Wes Chandler is Luther, and there'll only be a pickup of about 4 is Todd Bell, one of the fine safeties for Chicago. Good tackling safeties. There's Todd Bell. He's 6'1", 205 pounds. Back there with Gary Finzig. They hit like linebackers, and as a matter of fact, Mike Ditka this morning characterized his safeties as linebackers to us.
Linebackers playing safety.
They did an interesting thing that time, San Diego. They put Holohan in motion, and when he came back from his motion to hook the defensive end to allow his quarterback to roll to his right. So their game plan, obviously, is to try to roll somewhat against the Chicago pressure.
Third down. Ball at the 31-yard line. Pressure, and down goes Luther.
I can see why they might want to
Safety blitz on, and getting in there with Dave Durison, second-year man from Notre Dame, and now the Chargers are backed up out of field goal range on that sack, and it shows you why the defense has been so effective for the Bears. Panercia was well within range until the sack, the safety blitz, dropped Luther all the way back to the 40-yard line. Instead of bringing out Panercia, we're going to see the punter, Maury Buford.
The pride of Mount Pleasant, Texas.
Yeah. Well, if Chicago won that battle, they should have expected a blitz. They didn't. San Diego should have been rolling.
Fisher is back as Buford puts it up high, looking for the coverage.
I think he's up all. Look at all.
And it takes a San Diego bound into the end zone for the touchback. Chicago dodges a bit of a bullet as Lionel James came out with a 55-yard kickoff return to open the second half. Chicago will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. Those are the stats. The offense generated by the two teams in the first quarter, and now will dissolve into the halftime numbers. And if you were not with us, the starting quarterback for the Bears, Steve Fuller, went down with a separated shoulder. Jim McMahon, of course, unavailable, probably for another 2 or 3 weeks. Probably not until the playoffs with that lacerated liver he suffered 5 weeks ago against the Raiders. He can't go. We're watching Rusty Lisch, fourth-year man out of Notre Dame. This is his first year with the Bears. He tosses out to Walter Payton. Payton, who has been frustrated all evening, cuts back and gets about 3 yards to bring up a second down and 7. Walter only had 24 yards and 8 attempts in the first half. San Diego surprisingly strong defensively.
It's been one of those things where they just sputtered a little bit, haven't they, Frank? They haven't been able to get much consistency in that offense.
Well, they're waiting for their defense to do something for them, Chicago, and they've done it for them all year long. At this point, I wouldn't think that Coach Ditka is too concerned because he's in the ball game, only 6 points down, and I think he expects his defense to give him some field position here sooner or later.
Second down and 6. Ball at the 24-yard line of Chicago. Payton again on the draw. Payton slips as he took the handoff and is short of the first down. Well, now, this will be dependent upon where they mark it. He might have stumbled forward to get it.
I got a feeling he just did slip. He had a little hole that time. That was one of the biggest holes he's had to work with.
Well, there's not much grass there, and if he has on short cleats, he could have a little problem keeping his footing. But they're doing the right thing right now. They've gotten rid of the exotics, and they're getting back to basic football. And when you have a huge offensive line, which the Chicago Bears have, and Walter Payton in the backfield, sometimes you should just get real simple and give him the ball and
go right
beat him up a little bit.
Give the ball to Walter.
First down and 10. overthrowing the intended receiver, Brad Anderson. It'll bring up second down and 10.
You see that a lot. He has a linebacker that may be in his line of sight. And, man, the young quarterback doesn't throw very often out there. He's going to get that thing high and outside. Don't want him to pick it off.
Well, he had Matsui standing there about 8 yards down the field all by himself. I'm sure Matt came back to the huddle and said, hey, I'm wide open. Come back to it.
Quick look at Mike Ditka, now in his third year. There has been no talk with Mike Ditka about renewing that contract, but one would have to suspect that management, headed by Mike McCaskey, will get around to that very shortly. Hey, this time he is really popped. Runs into Lee Williams, player who is in his rookie year out of Bethune-Cookman and played the full season with the Los Angeles Express before signing here a few weeks ago. Good pass rush. He had 11 sacks for the Express this past season.
Well, he just took a hard inside against Keith Van Horn, fine offensive tackle from the University of Southern California. He just beat him right off the ball.
Had that quick start, didn't he?
Lee Williams.
All right, 3rd and 11 now. You got to have something exotic. What are you going to call, Coach?
3rd down and 11. Chicago finding the San Diego defense, I think, a little more than they anticipated coming into tonight.
I'll hit my tight end crossing.
Rish in trouble. Rish will go down.
If I have time.
He did not have time. First man there was Lee Williams. He got help from Lyndon King, and the loss will be all the way back to the 23-yard line. That was when he went into the arms of Lee Williams. And we'll see the punting unit coming on from Chicago. Corey Ellis, I tell you, he has got to be awfully proud of this team because they have run through 65 players on their roster this season, as I mentioned earlier. Injury rack in that secondary, starting 2 cornerbacks who had not started this season and weren't even with the Chargers as of 8 weeks ago. Lionel James is back for San Diego. They should have good field position. Fins are on to punt. Not a good kick. But it's going to be semi-effective as it goes out of the 39-yard line, taking a Chicago bounce. There'll be a net of 39 yards. San Diego will have good field position. Ed Luther getting last moment advice. San Diego Chargers are 6 and 7. They're out of the playoff picture. The Chicago Bears are 9 and 4 tonight. They could go to 10 and 4. Stay ahead of those 3 teams: Washington, the Redskins, and Dallas in the NFC East. They'll have to stay ahead of the winner of that division to get that home field advantage for the first playoff game. Chargers with the ball. Jackson on 1st and 10. Gets a couple out over the 40-yard line to the 42. Hit there by Mike Singletary. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
Mike Singletary does an excellent job inside. He may be the best middle linebacker in the game today in playing against the run. He reminds me of a young Hacksaw Reynolds. He really fills the holes whenever he sees it. Does an excellent, excellent job.
Got the Southwest Conference represented in the middle of that line. Got one of them, Hampton from Arkansas, McMichael from Texas, and Singletary from Baylor.
Ball right at the 42-yard line. San Diego leading 6-0. We're in the 3rd quarter. Nearly 5 minutes gone. Luther, oh boy, trying to get it in to his receiver, who was well covered. Mike Singletary batted it away. Holohan was, Bobby Duckworth was the intended receiver.
The isolation on Singletary. He was MVP down in that conference a few times. He's not too big. He's only about 5'11". They say he's 6 feet. He was right there. Oh, nice shot there. Hello.
I just wanted to know if you don't want you trying to catch a tip ball.
That's Todd Bell. He plays like a linebacker at times.
I want to stand around when you're playing the Bears. Keep the feet moving. 3rd and long for Ed Luther. Bears forego the blitz, but they get the pressure nevertheless. And Luther pops it up, and I think San Diego gets it back. Jackson was there. He was held in for blocking. Luther gave it away. But Steve McMichael was there. That's the 3rd sack of the night for the Bears. They now have 56 for the season as they continue to increase the record. And Luther limping.
A little dejected there. I think he was trying to pitch the ball underhand to Ernest Jackson. Got hit as he was attempting to do it.
Jeff Fisher is back on 4th down. Buford on again. We have not seen a whole lot of offense tonight. Buford, end over end, short punt. Here comes Fisher. Fisher with a fine return, caught a little bit of a gap and gets to about the 47-yard line, 34-yard punt, and it was a low punt, the kind you can bring back, and Fisher promptly brought it back 17 yards. Bears in great field position. We'll be right back.
1982. Wes Chandler of the Chargers caught 10 passes for 260 yards against Cincinnati. A Monday Night Football record.
The Chicago Bears, 9:04 remaining in the third quarter, down 6-0, get their best starting field position of the night. And they will be at the San Diego Chargers 48-yard line. The deepest they have penetrated is San Diego's 43-yard line. Walter Payton back inside, runs into Chuck Ian and a lot of his friends, and down he goes with a gain of about a yard. Bill Elko, the nose tackle, helping out Chuck Ian. Not much offense. The punters have tied their season's high for punts per game, both of them. Buford for San Diego and Finzer for Chicago. Buford's had 6, Finzer's had 7.
And they have a quarter and a half to go, so we may see 2 records tonight.
Payton, 35 yards, 12 carries. Hey, somebody wide open. Wide open. It was Emory Moorhead and overthrowing Rusty Lish.
Oh, he was open for such a long time, too.
Lish doesn't believe it. He followed him all the way across, and he was wide open coming all the way across. It'll be 3rd down and 9. We'll pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves. .8:20 remaining in the third quarter from San Diego. The Chicago Bears with the football. 3rd down and 9. They're at the 46-yard line of San Diego. They are trailing 6-0. Benershka 2 field goals for San Diego. San Diego is showing surprisingly strong defense. In a game the Bears feel that they really need to win. They want that home field advantage. And this time he tries to get it to Anderson. Anderson well covered. And of course, Rusty Lish in there because of the injury to Steve Fuller in the early going tonight. Steve Fuller, who started his 4th game for the Bears and was the hottest passer through the month of November in the NFL, went out with a shoulder separation, and we are watching the Bears' last quarterback on the roster, Rusty Lish, tonight.
Don, and watching him throw the ball, he has a nice arm.
A good strength.
He just hasn't timed it up thus far.
Lots of folks have strong arms. Finzer to punt. Lionel James is back. James, who returned the opening kickoff here in the second half, 55 yards, is at the 10-yard line. Finzer looks for the sideline and catches it, but not where he wanted to catch it. As they're going to mark it out over the 15-yard line near the 17. San Diego holds on to the 6-0 lead with 8:06 remaining in the third quarter. They'll have a 1st and 10 at the 17 when we come back tonight. Dan Fouts, injured last week against Pittsburgh in a 52-24 loss, unable to go tonight, not having a good night. Ed Luther not having certainly a Dan Fouts type of night. Looks over a 1st down and 10 from his own 17-yard line. He does have a 6-0 lead. Jackson, right side. And Ernest Jackson, following his blockers out over the 22 to the 23-yard line, gaining about 5 out of that. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Walter Payton, who we talked about earlier, probably the only other passer on this football team, and he has been over the sidelines, according to our sideline representative, looking at a playbook. And if anything should happen to Rusty Lish, the only quarterback the Bears have remaining, well, we'll see Walter Payton in some kind of a tailback offense, shotgun or something like that.
We might see if something doesn't happen to Rusty.
On 2nd and 5, Jackson right side. Big opening. And Jackson this time football. There's a scramble. The Bears are saying they have it. Jackson, who does not fumble frequently, certainly one of the best runners at holding on to the ball, gives one up. Todd Bell really made a fine tackle. He had his arms around Ernest Jackson and just literally stripped him of the ball. Let's take a look at it. You'll see it from the reverse angle.
I don't think Ernest Jackson never saw Todd Bell. As you can see, he turns up here, and Todd Bell's going to come from his outside. And he coughed the ball up as he was trying to shift arms. He was trying to get the ball away from the receiver, the defender, and he coughed it up and trying to switch it.
I'll tell you, that's why we have that reverse angle. You could not see it at all from our straightaway coverage on this side of the field. And he was trying to do what good ball players do. And you're right, O.J. He saw Todd Bell late, tried to switch it to the right arm to send off Todd Bell and coughed it up. The Bears had their best field position, 34-yard line, first down and 10. The deepest penetration. Payton, right side. And the Sweetness inside the 30-yard line. Still held to about 4 yards on that as Lee Williams, the big youngster out of Bethune-Cookman, pursued Payton and took him out of bounds.
Well, Walter's not slow. He's certainly not the fastest running back in the league, but that run was made possible because of his acceleration. Unfortunately, he was probably at his top end when he ran out of bounds there. There are backs like Dickinson who will turn that corner and zip down the sideline because they're able to go up to another gear. Walter doesn't have that 4th or 5th gear, but he certainly has the best 3 gears in football.
Second down, a long 6. I like that. Willie Gault in motion. Payton again. And showing his strength there. That's another plus that Payton offers you. He is really powerful. That's low gear there.
Yeah. Well, that's
a half a yard short of the first down.
Yeah, they got it in low because they got that offensive line just taking the guy in front of them. Square up on him and push him. Don't try to angle block him. Don't try to get position. Just fire off on the man in front of you and let Walter Payton pick the holes. And, hey, I think they should have been doing it earlier.
14 attempts for Walter Payton thus far tonight. 6 yards has been his longest run. But you keep giving it to him, and he likes to get it a lot of times. He's going to pop one sooner or later.
They had a little confusion out there that time. Jay Saldy, tight end, brought a play in. Didn't quite get it all settled, so Rusty says, I'm going to go over and talk this thing over.
And the Bears have to use one of their timeouts. We'll be back in San Diego in just...
Who make the call? Billy Sims of the Lions runs the right side, stepping on one defender and striking another with his foot. Now you make the call. Is this a legal play by Sims? What did you make? Striking an opponent anywhere above the knee with a foot or any part of the leg is illegal. 15-yard penalty for unnecessary roughness.
A third down and less than a yard. The ball inside the 25-yard line. There was a mix-up in their personnel. Quarterback Rusty Leach called timeout. Got it sorted out with Mike Ditka. Here will be the third and short call. And third and short, looking for all of it. Leach is in trouble. Scampers out of it and gets the first down, and that has been his most effective move tonight, running the football. But he gets the first down at the 21-yard line. He wanted to go deep, intending to go deep. On the third and short to his tight end, Emory Moorhead, he was well covered.
Kind of like Mike Ditka here, Don.
Well, he had to do a little something. They just had so little offense. That's a good move by Rusty.
When Lyndon King doesn't miss many tackles, number 57, he did.
And then Mike Green certainly doesn't miss very many. He's the leading tackle of the team, and they gave him the old limp leg, they call that.
Leach, second leading rusher for Chicago. He's carried it 3 times for 23 yards. That's not his role, however. Get that sorted out with him.
The old limp leg, huh?
The old limp leg. The 21-yard line. Chicago trailing 6-0.
There he is in the middle. Right there in the middle. There you go.
Ball is and that could have been 6 points. In and out of the hands of Dunsmore. And Tim Fox was looking at the end zone, the opposite end zone. He had a wide open field.
That was amazing.
Tim Fox was just thinking about who's going to catch me.
You're going to see.
You can see Dunsmore's wide open coming across the middle. Goes up. Ball he should have caught, Don.
Well, he should have. Maybe it would have helped a little bit if it was a little bit lower, but bounced it. Number 1 bounced it off of
Timmy.
Bill Kay's head. And Tim Fox had it all the way. Nothing but stripes in front of him.
Second down and 11. Fish, last 5 attempts, incomplete. And that one dangerously close to a long return on the interception. Suey in motion. Fish in the rollout.
Oh, yeah. They got Walter back in the middle.
Fish able to get it to Brad Anderson, the rookie from Arizona, and he'll have another Bear first down. It's not pretty, but it's effective.
Walter threw a good block that time, Bo. Generally, you were watching it. He got up after he threw his block and opened up back in the middle as a pass receiver. Like there were little delayed screens back to the middle, and there was no one there.
Well, Leach has all day to throw the football.
That's Anderson's only his 3rd reception of the season.
Probably frightened him when he saw that ball coming his way.
What is this providing me?
Is this legal?
There's just outside the 10-yard line of the Chargers. A down 6-0. First down and 10. Walter Payton. There you go, Walter. There it is. There it is. Boy, and you think he's not strong. He saw the goal line, put the head down, and used all that power.
Did he get a good block from Matsui?
Should have. Matsui, the lead man through the hole ahead of Payton.
The beautiful. Let me tell you about Tim Fox. Watch at the end of this run, Tim Fox, number 48. He really wishes he intercepted that ball now because he pays a price in the end zone. Now, he should be coming towards Payton, but he doesn't. He stays on the he stays on the goal line, and you're talking about a Tonka truck.
He went from 5'11" to Tim Fox to about 5'8". He just telescoped. Bob Thomas will try and put the Bears on top for the first time tonight with 6:38 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Thomas has the Bears on top 7-6. The Bears playing Mike Ditka football. Tough it out. Don't turn it over. We'll give you the ball sooner or later in good position. They lead 7-6. Deep for San Diego. Lionel James. Buford McGee earlier, opening the second half. Lionel James brought it back 55 yards. Bob Thomas, who has just put the Bears on top with the conversion of a Walter Payton 10-yard touchdown to kick off. Thomas. Lionel James from the 1.
All right, Lionel.
Hey, you, Lionel. Lionel busts another one. Out over the 35-yard line. Will be 1st and 10 San Diego. Want to remind you, this Saturday, ABC Sports presents the cream of this year's college crop on the 1984 College Football All-American team as selected by the Football Writers of America. Then it's Howard Cosell on the Emmy Award-winning sports feed returning, followed by the return of ABC's Wide World of Sports featuring the International Professional Figure Skating Championship. That, of course, from Madison Square Garden in New York. The action begins at 4 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, 3 o'clock Central, right here on ABC. So be with us this Saturday. 33-yard return for Lionel James. San Diego at their own 34-yard line, now trailing for the first time in this game. Jackson over the left side, out over the 35 for a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8. Mike Singletary defensively there for the Bears. Short punt set off this scoring drive. Maury Buford, 34-yard punt. Flip, flip, flip. And, of course, the 10-yard touchdown run by Walter Payton. Powering in, just putting the head down, following Matsui into the end zone.
That's that defense where they get them all up on the line.
Oh, they're all up there, too. Luther tried to get Charlie Joyner the football. Defensively, Sean Gale, the rookie from Ohio State, who has started 4 times coming into tonight for the Bears. They like this youngster. He got eaten up a little bit early in the year by one of the greats.
You're talking about against the Cardinals when he was playing?
It's Roy Green.
Yeah.
Well, Roy Green has eaten up a lot of people.
Yeah, that's Mike Ditka about that. He said, well, he's beaten the best of them.
Hey, you know.
We didn't think less than Sean Gale. 3rd down and 7 now.
Hey, they got shot
All up there again now. They look like a fire drill, but it isn't. Each one has an assignment.
Well, he backed out of that one that time. He's going deep. Whistles are blowing.
Intended for Duckworth. The whistle is blown. Time may have run out on that.
I think that's what it was.
No, they procedure call, but the 30-second clock had also run down.
77, false start, offense, 3rd down.
Sam Clapham trying to get a jump on Richard Dent. Moving too quickly. The 30-second clock had also ticked down.
Maybe Sam was the one watching the 30-second clock. He knew it was time to go.
As Ed Luther was replacing Dan Fouts tonight, was looking over that Bear defense. He saw all 11 of them up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's when they should go to an automatic and run a rollout pass. Get away from some of that heat if they can hook the outside man.
He might have been unable to talk. Third down and 11. Both backs stay in. They still chase Luther out. Charlie Joyner, his first reception of the night. And he'll have a Charger first down out at the 44-yard line. And that is reception number 652. As every reception now for Charlie Joyner in his 16th year is going to be a new NFL mark.
And Ed Luther threw the best pass I've seen him throw tonight. He should roll out and throw on the run. He throws the ball better on the run than he does from the pocket.
Bears are saying he didn't get the first down, but the referee, Chuck Eberling, has moved the yard markers up, and the Chargers keep this possession alive. That was San Diego's first third down conversion of the night. And they had Ed Luther running for his life.
They got him running, but this Charger offensive line is doing a more than decent job of containing this fancy, convoluted, looking at it anyway, defensive unit of Chicago Bears. They should be accustomed to it. The people have blitzed them over the years trying to get the foul.
5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. First down and 10. Look at Jackson over the left side, and down goes Jackson. Singletary chased him all the way and then slid off, but he was floating down.
He did a great job coming behind the center and running him down the line of scrimmage.
That's great reaction from that middle linebacker position.
Well, that's why he played in the Pro Bowl last year.
And he looks fast, too. That guy's taken off.
Jackson got a couple out of it. He's up to 51 yards on the night, Ernest Jackson. He needed 102 coming into tonight's game to overtake Marcus Allen, who has the rushing lead in the AFC. Marcus Allen, after yesterday, 1,074 yards. At the 46, second down and 8. Severs does not hold on as he is hit there by Gary Fincey.
Well, they're putting some pressure there. You saw Singletary again. He was right over Luther.
Well, Fitzsick, you know, he's noticed he hit guys. He's a hitter. He doesn't have all the speed in the league, but he's always been considered one of the league's premier hitters. As you can see, Singletary.
He's gone a little bananas out there. He's everywhere.
Hitting Luther.
They're very proud of their defensive team, and I'm sure that they had a little chit-chat. Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator, when they were in the locker room at halftime. Third down and 8. Blitz on again. That's goodbye. And completion is Bobby Duckworth. They shouldn't catch him. He has great speed. Good football. Can you believe that? And Mike Richardson covers for the Bears at the 4-yard line. I don't know whether he was getting ready to spike it or what. Spike it. He dropped the football at the 3-yard line. Unbelievable. We saw that yesterday in Miami with Clayton, but it bounced into Clayton's arms. He got into the end zone. 52 yards. He could have walked in. Let's watch. Unbelievable.
Blitzes, a beautiful pass backing up. He never stopped. All arm. You saw Duckworth catch it. One of the fastest guys in the game. And I don't know what he was doing.
He just, I don't know.
He's got a little too much wiggle in his wobble, and the ball just wiggled out.
Wiggle and a wobble.
Funny but sad. That will never be forgotten.
No, that one won't.
That follows you, I'll tell you that.
Actually, that's pretty good hustle by Seaver, too. He almost covered that ball. I'm sorry about
Chargers could have taken the lead. Now the Bears have the ball. First down and 10 at their 4-yard line. Peyton hurdles out close to the 9-yard line. Gain of 5.
Oh, that is so sad.
Poor Bobby Duckworth.
Well, he added about 60 yards to his average.
Yeah. Well, you touched on something that we were so astonished with what happened. We didn't really quite say enough about. Ed Luther reading that blitz perfectly. Had changed it up. Got the ball in there perfectly to Duckworth.
A little wrong foot pass that time, too. He just zipped it right with his hand, his arm.
Second down and 5. Peyton once again. Peyton close to a first down.
As you can see, watch he start throwing those shoulders, you know. He had the end of a run, and as he threw the shoulder arm back, the ball just slipped right out of him.
That is.
I think he was on the verge of celebration there.
Have a flag down. penalty coming up. The Bears are going to be brought back. Payton had the yardage for the first down.
Holding, offense, number 78, half the distance, second down.
Keith Van Horn holding. He's a senior member of this offensive line of the Bears, and he's only in his 4th year.
He says, I didn't do it. It seems that I didn't do that.
Yeah, they got a great offensive line here. You can tell that by the yardage that Walter, through most of the season, has been able to get. And they average 25 years of age, so they'll be together for quite a while.
Second down and 10.
Now, this is a strange lineup here.
That's Dennis Gentry at setback. Leash has a man wide open. And it's complete to Brad Anderson, and Brad Anderson will have a first down.
Tony Leash is down, getting up very. He got hit pretty hard after he released that ball.
Look at it from the end zone. He does get hit hard. Keep in mind the Bears are down to their last quarterback, and this is Leash getting really wrecked. And there is still another penalty coming up.
And you were talking earlier, Frank, the Bears have not been penalized very much this year. But they've had 3 holding penalties already, and this may be 4.
Talking it over with the Chargers. Getting the option there is the acting captain on the field, Billy Ray Smith. Son of the other Billy Ray Smith, the All-Pro from Baltimore many years ago.
Pass interference, offense, number 33, half the distance to the goal, second down.
That's Calvin Thomas coming out of the backfield. I don't know what he was interfering with. Leash was looking all the way to Brad Anderson, the man whom he completed the pass for the first down. Down remains the same. Penalty half the distance to the goal, so the Bears are at the 2-yard line. Again from the end zone. Rusty Leash. He'll run it out. And down at the 14-yard line. He could have dived for the first down. He's about a yard short, and he'll have the third down coming up.
If he would have slid like Pete Rose instead of like the normal baseball player, he would have had the first down.
Head first.
Rusty Leash, who has provided quite a bit of the Bears' offense tonight running.
I'm a little surprised that the Chargers, knowing that Leash hasn't played much, they're not blitzing him as much as maybe they should. Giving him a lot of time back there because his offensive line is doing a super job against the front 4 of the Chargers.
Rusty was so close to the first down. Didn't quite get there. He could have dived for it very easily.
Third down coming up.
2:58 remaining in the third quarter. And the Bears on top, 7-6. 10-yard touchdown run by Walter Payton, who has been held in rather tight check tonight. Mike Ditka chomping on the gum. 8-8 a year ago. They played great football towards the end of last year and has already clinched the Bears' first championship of anything since 1963 when they won the NFL championship.
I hear somebody else has got 10 men on the line. Look at that Charger defense.
Third and short. Whoa. Calvin Thomas. And it so often happens if you break that first layer of defense.
Yeah.
In that short yardage defense, you can break off a big one, and Thomas gets out to the 25-yard line. First down, Chicago.
And this is the best the offense has done tonight for the Bears because they've been penalized a couple of times. Oh, Walter's going to probably draw a crowd, but look at it. He makes a nice little block.
Excellent block.
He made a fine block against Lyndon King, who's 6'5" and 250. Walter Payton taking King to the ground. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Bears leading 7-6.
Can't believe Duckworth dropped the ball.
This will go down. Fred Robinson, a rookie from Miami. They got him from Tampa Bay on waivers. One of the many players they've had to bring in as a 10-yard loss. And here is Bobby Duckworth saying, I didn't do that, did I? He's a really nice young man. And he is befuddled.
He'll get an opportunity to redeem himself.
That was a loss of almost 10 yards on the sack of Leash. He dropped it. Ball bounced right into his hands.
That was an interesting ruling on that play, incidentally.
2nd and 20, and Lish is in the arms of Billy Ray Smith. All the way back to the 2-yard line, but they'll mark it out around the 7.
That's where it hurts you.
Coming.
Ed Robinson says, hey, back it up. I got him way back there. Delicious progress was stopped at the 7. That's where they mark it. It's 3rd down and a big bundle for Chicago.
That's really the mistake of the quarterback as much as anything else. You just can't allow yourself to be sacked. You got to either get rid of the ball quickly, you got to read it more quickly.
Get it off to somebody.
Yeah, you just
or in their direction.
Can't let that one happen.
3rd down and 32.
Well, you have to play to learn those things.
Wonder what kind of play Ditka has for a 3rd and 32. I bet you Lish hasn't got to play for it.
Give it to Walter. Let him throw it.
Try this man, Walter Payton. Payton at least got breathing room for the punting unit as he's out over the 20-yard line to the 21. Lyndon King stopping Payton there. Chicago brings out Dave Finzer once again. Now San Diego should get it back in good field position. Payton doing his thing. He's having really tough sledding tonight. He's been hit very hard. Charged up San Diego defense.
He headed one of them toward the barn and scored a nice touchdown with about a 10-yard run. Walter's fun to watch.
They may run off the final seconds of the 3rd quarter before Chicago gets the ball in the air. And I believe the time will run out. There it is. Chicago leading after 3 over San Diego 7-6. We'll be back for 4th quarter action after this. We begin the 4th quarter from San Diego. The Chicago Bears over the San Diego Chargers 7-6. Lionel James has dropped for San Diego. Dave Finzer on to punt on 4th down and 14. Finzer this time turns it over, and James is at his 40-yard line. And he'll stay there as the Bears hustle down with their special team. And it'll be 1st down San Diego at their 40-yard line. Coming up later tonight on Nightline, the United States Senate. Everyone agrees it has changed, but has it lost the power and dignity our founding fathers intended? A look at that tonight on Nightline, following your late local news on most of these ABC stations. Kellen Winslow, who came into tonight after being out for 4 weeks, tied with Charlie Joyner as a leading receiver for San Diego with 55 receptions. What a great, great football player. Hopefully he can come back and display those wonderful skills that he has over the years. Knee surgery, of course, 5 weeks ago. Ernest Jackson hit at the line of scrimmage, struggled for a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Van Hampton defensively. Take a look at the halftime stats, and then we'll dissolve them into the 3rd quarter numbers for you. Show you what transpired in the 3rd period. There you have it. Of course, rushing yardage dominated there by Chicago. 10 yards of that 126 was a 10-yard Walter Payton touchdown run. 2nd down and 9. Luther under pressure again. And trying to come back for it. Charlie Joyner incomplete. But once again, Luther was pressured. The blitz was on. Otis Wilson, weak side linebacker, in there pressuring.
I tell you, Luther can throw the ball on the run as well as just about anybody I've ever seen. I mean, and he gets a lot on the ball when he throws it.
He threw that one, and he didn't get sacked. That's about the best thing he did.
Of course, pressed into service. Dan Fouts heard a week ago. He started 6 for Dan Fouts a year ago. He won 1 and lost 5. Had a big game against Dallas. And, of course, coming in last week, he passed for 296 yards when he replaced Dan Fouts. He's capable. 3rd and 9. Luther threw that too hard to Severs. He had a step on the defender, Mike Singletary. Luther almost knocked Severs down.
And Luther is still down. He's been beat up pretty good tonight. He's limping off again.
That'll bring up 4th down.
He says, this is what Fouts does every week. My gosh.
Well, this Chicago
Gaining
team.
even more respect for Dan Fouts.
And he's only been out twice.
This Chicago team will beat you up. Remember the picture we saw of Archie Manning in the paper a few weeks ago after this Chicago team sacked him 11 times?
And the Raiders remember them too, don't they?
He knocked a couple of Raiders out of that game. Did the Bears. Gilbert, low punt. Looking for the sideline, and he'll get it just at the 20-yard line. So Chicago will get it back. They'll have a first down at 10 at their own 20-yard line. Early minutes of the fourth period, and Chicago leading 7-6. We'll be back. Pressed into action tonight with Steve Fuller, who started his fourth game for an injured Jim McMahon. Went out with a separated shoulder. The Charger defense has played well tonight. It actually played well against Steve Fuller, who went out when he was 3 of 4 for 20 yards in the first quarter. First and 10, Chicago. Walter Payton, left side. He goes down in the arms of Mike Green. The Bears, of course, feel they're going to have to win all 3 of the remaining games tonight, Green Bay and then Detroit, because they have to have a better record than the winner of that Eastern Division. And they will be 10-4 if they pull off the victory tonight. The Eastern Division really tied up in knots with the Giants, the Cowboys, and Washington. San Francisco, of course, locked up the division, and, of course, they will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And these are the other contenders. The Rams still have to face Houston, and then we'll watch them Friday night, a week from Friday night, against San Francisco in San Francisco. Second down and 5 as Walter Payton is stacked up, gain of about a yard. And the San Diego defense is playing well tonight.
They are playing a lot better, I think. They're not as concerned about a passing attack as maybe they would be some, so they really kind of zeroed in on Walter, I think, at the beginning of this. And sure enough, they have been able to do that without having to worry too much about a passing game.
Well, I think what they're trying to do now is run Walter inside, just trying to be a little more physical with this Charger team, and this Charger team is hanging in there. Got to give them credit, boy. They seem to be just a tad too quick.
Third down and 3 at the 26-yard line. Look out. Complete. Willie Gault. He'll have first down yardage out of the 32-yard line. Willie Gault ended tonight 28 receptions and 5 touchdowns. Not terribly happy, one would suspect, with the type of offense the Bears have employed this year, and that is run the ball, possession football. Gault with that great speed, and he can really fly. Would like to be included in a few more deeper patterns, one would suspect.
And when you're playing against the 27th, second to last rated defensive team against the pass, it's surprising that the Chicago Bears aren't trying to take advantage of that and throw the ball downfield more.
And here they are in the fourth quarter, leading 7-6. Walter Payton. And Payton just powering out near the 40-yard line in the arms of Billy Ray Smith and assorted Charger defenders. Short of the first down by about 3.
Walter's working tonight. You know, you sort of feeling his oats this morning. He said to me, he said, you know, Juice, I always thought you would be number 2 on the list of, as we look at this. He told me, I always thought you'd be number 2 on the list for, you know, single season yardage. And after next year, you're going to be number 3.
Hey, that reference to Ditka's contract refers to a statement made by Michael McCaskey, the operating officer for the Bears, a few weeks ago on radio, said that not going to discuss the contract until after the season. Bears now second down and 3. And down goes Billy Ray. First down, so it will be.
That was a good move by Billy Ray.
Short as Billy Ray Smith stepped into the gap.
Very similar to what we saw Singletary do a while ago from that linebacker position. Take that one step, read the guard, get in there, and try to get the back before he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Getting back to that contract discussion, that is what Michael McCaskey said at the beginning of the season, too. Michael McCaskey came in last year following the death of the legendary George Halas. Ed McCaskey is the chief executive officer of the Bears. McCaskey runs the ball club, and he had little or no background. An intellectual type, teacher at UCLA and Harvard.
Another mess up.
Another personnel mix-up by the Bears. They have to use another timeout. They're down to 1. So he'll go over and talk to Mike Ditka. We'll be back in San Diego in a moment. Third down, short yardage for the Bears. I mentioned what I was talking about a moment ago to Mike Ditka this morning about his contract, and he said, I'm a free agent January 31st. He will say what he thinks. 40-yard line, 1st and 10, Chicago.
Oh, that boy can run.
Will he go? And that should bring a flag.
Oh, well, he took a shot at the last minute.
Lucius Smith ran right into Galt, who was coming back with the ball. Galt bitterly complaining, no flags are down.
Boy, he can fly. He ran by Lucius like he wasn't even there. He's holding up for the ball. A hand went up. He didn't wave it, but he did hit him.
That's not interference.
Well, it's as close as you can get.
I'm telling you.
Let's take a look at it. Let's see if the ball gets to Willie before he gets there.
I think
the ball hits
contact
him
was made
before.
long before the ball.
I'll be darned.
No flag. Dave Finzer on to punt. Lionel James is back to San Diego. Boy, I'll tell you, Galt went by him like he was standing still.
Oh, he got him a good one that time.
Finzer turns it over, and James gets away from one defender at the 15 and drops back to the 11 where he's taken there. First man was Brian Beisnagel. San Diego will start deep in their own territory. They're down by 1 with 9:54 remaining in the game. Cool here in San Diego. It's been raining on and off throughout the day. However, the rain has stopped this evening and the temperature has started to drop. It's going into the 60s tonight, and that is cool in San Diego for those of you in the east.
Damn and cool.
1st and 10, San Diego. Down by 1 point. They have the ball at their own 12-yard line. Ed Luther going all the way for the Chargers. He had to get rid of it. He was looking for an out and up by Joyner. He got a half an out and half an up.
Thing I don't understand, the fans are booing Luther. They don't realize this is all they got. You got a guy, he can't walk. Don't boo the man, help him.
And he could have gotten sacked if he hadn't thrown the ball on that play.
Hey, when you watch Dan Fouts over the years, for 12 years, and
he spoiled him.
A youngster named Ed Luther who is really, and Fouts as well, he never gets to even practice hardly. He's out there doing his best, and he's playing against the #1 defense in the league. Just trying to get out of this alive.
Here it goes again.
Going up deep again.
All right, don't drop it. Don't drop it. Don't drop it.
Hang on to it, Bobby. All right.
All right, Bobby.
He beat Sean Gale, and if you were with us earlier, you saw him having a touchdown right within his grasp, drop the football. This one he does not drop. Let's watch it on split screen. Luther on your right, Bobby Duckworth working against Sean Gale defensively for the Bears.
And they just booed Luther the play before when he overthrew, but look at this, was dropped right in there. Couldn't throw one any better, and we're all pulling for Bobby to hold on to this one. I can't believe that he actually did that.
That was the second longest pass completion in the history of the Chargers.
Now that's amazing.
The Chargers with Dan Fouts, 88 yards. Bobby Duckworth, they've said all along in his 3 years that he has the great deep speed that they have looked for. Congressman Jack Kemp, would you believe, holds the record. They went to Keith Lincoln in 1961.
91 yards.
With 91 yards. Duckworth, vindicated. Benushka is on. Chargers in the lead once again. Chargers take the lead. 13-7. We have 9:37 remaining in the game. Atta-way, Bobby. We knew you could hold on to it.
There's justice after all.
Duckworth crossed the goal line on that last 88-yard touchdown pass. We know what he was trying to do with the first one.
That's it. You see Luther and Danny Fouts talking on the sideline with a little grin between them. They'll tell you what they're talking about. That a way to go, kid, he said.
Quick look at Jack Cameron and Dave Duerson for the Bears awaiting the kickoff from Ralph Benushka. 9:37 remaining. The Chargers on top once again, 13-7. Jack Cameron fouls the ball, is going to bring it out, stays in the end zone. It'll be a touchback for the Bears. They'll have the ball at the 20-yard line.
This one won't take long to show you, folks.
Will be a long line on this one. Watch the black.
Zip, zip. Yeah.
Take a look at it from the end zone. The blitz was on.
Singletary.
Singletary. Good pickup, too.
They tried this the play before, as you mentioned, Frank, to Joyner, a similar play, just up on that outside.
Now, here's what Bobby says. Here's what I was trying to do the first time.
You see, I was just way behind everybody. Yeah, that's fun.
Bears, they could really hurt themselves if they lose this game tonight. And they know that. They're looking for that home field advantage in the first playoff. Walter Payton over the left side, held to about a 3-yard pickup. He's really been contained tonight as Walter Payton. He did, however, move out over 13,000 yards. Marvelous career. Giving up a first-round draft pick. That was 10 years ago. Holds the NFL record for yardage gained in a single game at 275 yards against Minnesota in '77. Has replaced Timmy Brown, all-time leading rusher. Has the most 100-yard games, the all-time combined rushing leader in the NFL. Tonight he has 93 yards on 22 attempts, and this has been tough going. 2nd and 6. Leach. Calvin Thomas. Wow, that's hitting.
Calvin decided to go straight then, didn't he? I think I'll go straight.
Line, the shortest, fastest way to 2 points is straight ahead. He
Picks
did
on the biggest linebacker on the field, Lyndon King, 6'5" and 250, but he gets the first down.
Little quick layoff. You see Lennon with the big, deep drop. Calvin says, here I go. Got some help from his friends on the inside.
33-yard line, first down, Chicago. They've got to start getting serious. Not that they haven't, but I think they might have come in taking these charges just a little too lightly. Walter Payton. That's got to be Billy Ray Smith stepping right into the hole. Actually, it's Mike Green, the other young linebacker. Mike Green came up last year, a 9th-round draft pick, became a starter, along with Billy Ray Smith, the first-round celebrated draft pick. They both started a year ago. Mike Green actually has turned in the best performance, as Billy Ray Smith, the stand-up defensive lineman at Arkansas, is really just starting to become familiar with that inside linebacking position.
That's something, though, it's good to have to work when you're going to try to build a new defense. Let's say you start with those 2 guys like that and go. A couple of good ones in the middle.
Gain of a couple, it'll be 2nd down and 8. Play action by Lish.
Over the middle.
Ooh, had the man open, Jay Saldy.
Oh.
Jay Saldy is really popped, hit by Tim Fox, and Tim Fox now slow getting up.
Saldy was the guy that was in Dallas when Ditka was there playing tight end. He wanted out of Dallas, and they obliged him, and there he is in Chicago.
Well, and I'll tell you, the former New England Patriot, Tim Fox, has provided a lot of heavy hitting in his time, and he really collides here with Saldy.
Well, they almost held on to that ball, though, didn't they?
Yeah, Tim Fox literally was going after the ball as we look at 2 of the great receivers, Winslow and Joyner.
Roommates on the road. Winslow coming out to participate in the celebration of Charlie Joyner Day at halftime.
If Winslow comes back healthy, he's the guy that's most likely going to replace Joyner one day.
That's
the all-time leader.
3rd down and 8. Lish getting out of there again. Moving tight pocket. Tried to get it out to Brad Anderson. Incomplete, and the Chargers were going to get the ball back, and the crowd loves it. Bears 9-4, looking to go 10-4. Stay in control of their own destiny as far as the playoff hopes are concerned. And they've run into a buzzsaw tonight here in San Diego. Lionel James drops. Dave Fenzer with his 11th punt. Punt 11 times, your offense is not controlling things very well. Fenzer gets off a beauty. Hangs up there. James holds on to the football somehow. James was really hit.
You can see, he can sort of sense the man is right on him. And fortunately,
Anthony Hutchinson is the guy that's there, isn't he?
Fortunately, being 5'6", he can get under the blow.
Hutchinson really pounded Lionel James. And San Diego, 13-7 they lead. First down and 10. The ball at the 17-yard line. Just under 6 minutes remain to be played. These Chargers out of the playoffs, playing for personal pride tonight. Injury racked as they've been throughout the season. Ernest Jackson. Boom. turning back into the defense, hit right at the line of scrimmage. We want to remind you that ABC Sports presents the exciting bowl games. They're Don Shula. Both games will be shown live at 8 o'clock Eastern. You'll see them right here on ABC. The Gator Bowl. And then, of course, the big one. That's almost picked off.
But that one, he was open, and he had noses. Duckworth went to the inside that time and had a little step or two.
The Gator Bowl and the Sugar Bowl here on ABC, so be with us. 3rd down and 9. Gary Fensick, he took a class under Howard Cosell up at Yale. He was actually a record-breaking receiver at Yale. Miami drafted him, and they let him go, and the Bears picked him up, and he has had 9 great years at Chicago. 3rd down and 9. Luther steps back in the pocket. Rifles the pass is complete. Chandler.
That's a well-thrown ball. That one had a lot of authority there.
Luther now 12 of 29. And the numbers are starting to look better for Ed Luther.
Starts off, he gets a little protection. That looks like Fouts backing out there that time. That little back wiggle and wobble, and it'll turn and go.
And that's pretty spiral.
Yeah. Nicely thrown ball.
Chandler out to the 37-yard line.
Looks like Chicago's gotten away from their defensive game plan. Dan Hampton told us today that they wanted to collapse the pocket and come up the middle, and they're giving him the middle to step up in to throw the ball.
Clock now starting to become a factor for these Bears as Jackson struggles for a yard, maybe 2 yards over the right side. And Luther getting up close to a 300-yard game. 275 yards and a touchdown.
It's more of a factor with the Bears than it will be some other teams because they haven't been very explosive. They've got that rather conservative approach. So a little bit under 5 minutes to go. San Diego still has the ball.
Can't believe when they get it back, we won't see Willie Galt on a fly kind of action. He ran right by Lucius Smith earlier. The ball was underthrown. He was 2 or 3 yards behind the defender, Lucius Smith. His first deep attempt of the night. 2nd down and 9. Jackson works out to the 45-yard line, short of the first down by a couple. It'll be 3rd and 2. Tyrone Keys defensively there for Chicago. The Bears lose tonight. They're going to fall back to a 9-5 record. Dallas is 9-5. The Giants are 9-5. Washington are 9-5 in the National Football Conference.
The Rams.
And the Rams 9-5. But the Bears know to get that home field advantage, they've clinched their division already, that they have got to finish better than the winner of that Eastern Division of the NFC. And they will not be in control of their own fate if they lose this one tonight. And they are getting dangerously close to that. We're inside 4 minutes, and they trail 13-7. A flag, and I think contact was made, and that should give San Diego a first down unless they had drawn
He's saying
them off.
And San Diego.
San Diego must have drawn off Richard Dent. Yeah, they're saying it was Ed Luther. He provided the false start that drew the Bears offside. And San Diego now will be looking at a 3rd down and 7.
We might even call this one critical, as a matter of fact. You know it?
Can't give any kind of emotion or something like that. I mean, you can't give anything as outrageous as a head bob as Luther tried to suck him off. He knew he was looking at a 3rd and 2. He was trying to get a cheap one.
But some quarterbacks will do that on every play. They don't call it against you, but you can't just wait till the last 3 minutes in the game and try to do it.
Bears are all up there. Showing blitz. They come with it. And down goes Luther. The blitz was on. It was Dave Durison, who has twice now been able to trap Luther.
All right. This could be it for the Old Bears. 3 minutes, 36 seconds to go.
57 sacks now for the Chicago Bears. The leader in the NFL is Washington with 58. San Diego will have to punt. 3:32 remaining. The clock is moving as Jeff Fisher drops back. Maury Buford to punt. Buford had to hurry that. comes Jeff Fisher. Out of the 30 to the 32-yard line. So Chicago will have the ball back, 3:11 remaining in the game. And they trail 13-7. And Chicago, keep in mind, had to use 2 timeouts because of personnel problems. They're down to 1. Rusty Lish.
10 for 24 for 71 yards.
Can't really expect too much because you know that Rusty Lish has not been getting the work in practice. He had only thrown the ball into tonight 28 times for the Bears, completing 15, had 4 interceptions of those 28 attempts. Did not play all that much over the past 4 years with the Cardinals. It's up to him to pull this out. Matsui. Matsui underneath, and he'll have a first down out at the 44-yard line. The flags are all over the field.
That's right. 3 of them are down back at. Got to be holding again. I'm telling you, that they've been hurt with those holding penalties.
I think that might have been holding squared.
Could have been.
3 different flags dropped. Mike Ditka. He's a throwback to the old Chicago Bears.
Holding, offense, number 34.
Well,
First
Walter.
Call that against Walter Payton.
He may be a throwback to the old Chicago Bears, but I just hope that they just hit some of their plays here tonight, because with this offense, as good as they are on defense, they're in the playoffs. They aren't going to go too far in the playoffs if they can't take advantage of a team's weakness, and they should be throwing the ball downfield on this San Diego team.
First down and 20. Walter Payton. And he is hit and dropped. Woody Lowe there first defensively, and then Mike Green stepped in to help out.
He's good, but he's not that good.
There's a gain of about 5. Second down, still long yardage. Second down, 13.
Yeah, this defensive team for the Chargers, even when they were healthy, they were next to last in pass defense.
They got 2 new corners tonight. Guys haven't been out on the corners.
Guys been driving trucks.
Guys making their first start. Lucius Smith and John Turner. Second and long. Fish underneath. Matsui once again. That's just good, hard running by Suey to get it close to the first down. Tim Fox made the stop, and now the Bears will be looking at a 3rd down and 2, and with 2:20, the clock stopped with the out-of-bounds maneuver by Suey. Well, they are probably going to be also in what you might call your 4-down mode. There'll be no punting. Tom Bass, the defensive coordinator, give him credit. He's suffered not only physically with that torn bicep and surgery over the past couple of weeks, but he has suffered as he has watched 65 players come through the San Diego roster, most of them because of defensive injuries. And that's his job, getting that defense together. 3rd and 2. Lish. Suey, first down out of the 45-yard line. It's simple, but it's effective. And not burdening a young quarterback who has not seen that much action. They won't get a playoff before the 2-minute warning. They only have 1 timeout remaining. And there it is. 2 minutes remaining. The Bears desperately trying to get back into the game. They trail 13-7. We'll be back with the action remaining here in San Diego. San Diego Chargers putting on quite an impressive show. As we mentioned several times, next to last defensively in the NFL, last in their conference against the pass. They've been tough against the run, 2nd-rated in their conference, but that's because teams haven't had to run on them. And the Bears are not doing that tonight. The Bears have a first down and 10. They trail 13-7. The ball just out over their own 45-yard line. And Lish is in the shotgun. Lish. And he gets the completion. It goes to Baschnagel, the veteran out of Ohio State. He stops the clock with the first down at 1:55 on a 14-yard pickup. And we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
WTAE-TV, Channel 4, Pittsburgh.
So the Bears keep it alive. They have a first down at the 40-yard line, 1:55 remaining. San Diego with their 2 field goals led 6-0 until Walter Payton got a 10-yard touchdown run. In the 3rd quarter, Ed Luther came back with an 88-yard touchdown pass in the 4th to Bobby Duckworth. That's the scoring. 13-7 the Chargers. First down and 10. Lish is back. Walter Payton. And Payton gets another first down. Inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Tim Fox defensively.
You get the feeling they could have done this the whole game.
Yeah, you wonder why not, don't you?
Boy, and would they love to have those 2 timeouts remaining, the ones they had to use because of personnel problems. Look out, boy. Intercepted.
Turn off the line.
Lee Williams.
It's over. It's been it all. Good things busting.
Lee Williams, the USFL player this past season, and look at Lee. She can't believe it. Nor can Bobby Duckworth.
I'm telling you.
Lee's got excellent hands.
65-yard return of the interception. Don tried to warn Leash. The man was coming.
May have been the shortest interception in history. I think the ball traveled about 2 yards here.
He got back.
Bingo.
Keith Ferguson provided the hit. Lee Williams was right there. O.J. said he had good hands. He didn't even bobble it.
He didn't drop it either.
Didn't even spike it, did he?
I bet he's tired.
You bet.
1:15 remaining, and now Chicago is going to need help. They're going to need help.
Help.
Somebody, or all of them, in the NFC East. They'll play Green Bay at home next Sunday. Then they'll go on to play Detroit. Benershka on for the conversion. And this crowd, there were a lot of no-shows, but a lot of them stuck around. Proud of a particularly great defensive effort by the Chargers. There's the man that has just scored from 65 yards out. I want to remind you, 8 o'clock next Monday night, we're going to be in Detroit with the Raiders as they continue their pursuit of the playoffs. They're looking awfully good. They're playing so well. Winners over Miami yesterday. And then we'll be watching Eric Dickerson against the 49ers on Friday night. That's December 14th, Friday night, at our regular time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. I mentioned all those 9 and 5 teams, the Giants, Washington, Dallas. I'd like to say the Giants could clinch a playoff spot next Sunday if they defeat the Cardinals and the Rams lose to Houston, assuming, of course, that next week's Dallas-Washington game does not end in a tie. And no matter how complex that is, Giant fans, I know, have been waiting a long time for a divisional title. They have a good shot at it.
You know, it's even wilder. The Cardinals win all their games. They wind up winning the division.
That's true.
I tell you, it's even wilder. This Charger team wish they can play in any division besides the AFC West.
That's true.
They're 7-1 against all the other divisions, and they're 0-6 in the AFC West.
1:15 remaining. Benershka to kick off. Jack Cameron, Dave Dewars in the back, and it's going to be a long ride back to Chicago for the Bears. I think they came in here thinking they had a pretty good shot at this game. Chargers struggling. They didn't have Dan Fouts. Chuck Muncy's gone. Kellen Winslow. Here's Dave Dewars. The reverse to Jack Cameron. Or Todd Bell on the reverse. Todd Bell gets to the 25-yard line. That's about it. Let's take a look at it again. The man who caused it was Keith Ferguson, number 76. Here he is.
He's zeroing in, isn't he?
Hilgenberg tried to get back and block him. The ball came loose, and there goes Lee Williams on a 65-yard rumble, and I mean rumble. He's a big one.
Hilgenberg appeared as if he was trying to tackle him from behind.
He got it.
I thought that was Keith Van Horn at first.
There's one timeout.
That's right. Did you know that this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League? It is, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. Now you know.
From the shotgun.
Oh, yes.
Dunsmore works on his yearly stats. 22-yard pickup.
You've got to wonder now if this late in the season you can find another quarterback, because if both of theirs are hurt, they're going with Lish. That might be a little too risky. Where do you find a quarterback this late?
Lish.
If he doesn't get out of bounds.
Pass to the Bear quarterbacks.
Ooh, might be a knee right there. Oh,
he gets the first down at the 41-yard line. Lyndon King takes him down there. The Bears line up quickly once again. Final seconds ticking off. Down to 20 seconds. Lish stops the clock. with the incompletion, but a flag is down. While they sort it out, we'll tell you, our executive producer of ABC Sports is Rune Arledge. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football produced by Bob Goodrich. Directed by Chet Forty. Technical director Joe Chavo. Halftime producer Peter Lasser. Associate director Cam Belton. Technical manager Coach Coltrane. Unit manager Marshall Lopez. Telecommunications manager Frank Belger. Assistants to the producer Tony Tortorisi and Charlie Wiseman. Stats and graphics tonight. Steve Hurt working overtime with his UNIVAC. He does some job. Statistician
Illegal
Joe Cox.
motion, offense, 2 men moving, first down.
And computer and graphics tonight. Steve Francesca. Booth assistant Jackie Harris. Our spotter Steve Bazika. We're all here in San Diego on a very chilly night and a very exciting night for the Chargers. They're going to go to 500. They'll be 7-7.
Now, this is going to be it. This will be the fewest points that the Bears have scored, and the fewest points.
Walter Payton showing that straight arm that O.J. talked about earlier.
That the Chargers have allowed.
That straight arm is a punch. I'm telling you, it's like Larry Holmes.
He let it go, did he?
He sure does. Right upside the head, too.
We're getting down to it. We're going to be in Detroit with the Raiders. Special time, 8 o'clock. So be with us. 6 seconds remaining. And then a week from Friday night, we'll be in San Francisco. Special night. We'll watch Eric Dickerson of the Rams. Should be going for O.J. Simpson's record of 2,003 yards in a single season.
Special for you.
Little trick play, and it backfires. The lateral.
That is
picked off. John Turner got the lateral. Time has run out, and the Chargers have stunned the Chicago Bears 20-7. Wasn't close, and the Bears have got themselves in trouble.
Well, the Super Bowl, as you probably know, will be on ABC this Sunday. And so that we can appreciate how much this contest means to the players, we have a different kind of story. It's a celebration of the bond that people form when they reach a common goal. And it's about the bittersweet pleasure of savoring a golden moment. As Dick Schaap makes clear in this report, these are things we can all appreciate, whether we're football fans or not.
Come on, look at me, 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 look at me. They were the Packers of Green Bay, Wisconsin. They were the Packers of Vince Lombardi. And long before they played in the first Super Bowl, they were a special team.
Come on, Messine, let's go here. You got it.
The fierceness of their coach combined with the smallness of their city to force upon them a cohesiveness, a camaraderie, a closeness that, nurtured by victory, came very close to love.
Kind of thing you feel for a family member, for a brother, a sister, a mother. It's a feeling we had for each other, for the other members of the team, and for Coach Lombardi. It's a thing that will last forever, I guess.
That feeling has endured, so that now, 18 years after he led them to the first Super Bowl, 15 years after he died of cancer, Vince Lombardi lives in the mind of each man who played for him.
Do you think about him a lot?
Every day. And I love my father, who is also deceased, but I don't think about my father every day.
Lombardi was father figure and more to the Green Bay Packers. They loved him, hated him, feared him, respected him, everything except ignored him. He talked and 80 ears listened. He told them they had no choice in Super Bowl I. Winning was the only thing.
They met here in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The Packers and the new kid on the block, the Kansas City Chiefs, the champions of the Young American Football League, and decidedly the underdogs in Super Bowl I, despite the presence of a brash cornerback named Fred Williamson, who promised to attack the Packers with the weapon that had become his nickname, the hammer.
The hammer, or more descriptively, a blow struck perpendicular to the Earth's latitude.
Oh, and he did catch me pretty good, and it kind of moved my helmet around a little bit, you know, but we had heard that he had broken a lot of helmets. And
I was hyped, man. I mean, I was there to hurt, kill. I mean...
Williamson remembers getting up before the game. Green Bay's Max McGee remembers staying up. At the age of 34, after catching only 4 passes all season, McGee saw no good reason to rest his body for the Super Bowl.
I was having a great time because my career was over. I was just basking in the California sun, getting ready to retire, and you know, sneaking out after curfew and going into L.A. to have a little fun once in a while. But
McGee had always been motivated by a fear of failure on the field and a different fear off.
I was scared to death to go to bed at night because I was afraid I'd miss something.
The night before the Super Bowl, McGee didn't miss anything except the team's curfew.
I had been out. I'd met a little girl from Chicago, pretty little blonde, and we were getting on pretty good.
McGee didn't exactly miss curfew. He went back and observed it by getting into bed with his tie and jacket on and staying under the covers till a coach checked him in. Then he said goodbye to his roommate, Paul Horning, climbed down the fire escape, and went out to rejoin the blonde and resume the pleasures of life here on the Sunset Strip.
And we went out and kind of did the town, you know, a little dancing, a few beers, and gets pretty late, and anyway, I got in relatively late, something like close to breakfast time.
McGee made it to the Coliseum on time. 40,000 of these 100,000 seats were empty. The Super Bowl wasn't quite so super then, but Max was in his seat on the bench, talking to Horning, not really watching the game till...
About the third or fourth play, it seems like. Lombardi says, McGee, in that famous voice, you know, that you hear. And I honestly didn't know he wanted me to play football. I thought for sure he wanted to find me.
Lombardi wanted McGee to play. One of the starting wide receivers had been leveled by the hammer.
McGee didn't exactly sprint onto the field.
I said, boy, this is going to be a great day, right?
It was a great day for McGee, the greatest of his career. The first great moment, a bad pass from Bart Starr.
Then I reached back here to catch, to break up an interception. I was so sure that somebody's going to intercept the ball, and when I did, it stuck in my hand. People say that was planned. Hell, that was an accident.
McGee caught the ball and danced to the end zone for the first touchdown in Super Bowl history. He caught 6 more passes, one for his second touchdown, a juggling catch that clinched the game. McGee wound up a hero, and the hammer wound up hammered, knocked unconscious when he caught a knee in the face tackling a Green Bay runner.
You know who got hurt? The hammer. The hammer! That's a big deal, the hammer. Hey, Sweat, the hammer got it! The hammer!
They got the hammer. They got the hammer. I mean, I think they were more excited about that than scoring a touchdown.
The Packers pulled away to a decisive victory, which was no disgrace for Kansas City. After all, Green Bay was in the middle of a 3-year reign as champions of the National Football League, a feat matched by no other team before or since. The Packers, seasoned and sturdy, most of them survivors of 7, 8, 9 NFL seasons, were so good that 6 of them were elected to the Professional Football Hall of Fame. They were an exceptional group of men off the field, too. McGee, for instance, earned so many millions helping to start Chi-Chi's, the fast Mexican food chain, he could afford to spend the rest of his life playing gin. Willie Davis is a walking conglomerate, a member of the board of directors of Fireman's Fund and MGM, owner of 5 radio stations and a beer and wine distributorship. And Ron Kostelnik, a defensive tackle, has built a firm that manufactures industrial belts into an $18 million a year business. Almost to a man, the Packers attribute their business success to Lombardi's teachings, except for McGee, who insists that off the field, as on, he was just lucky.
Not all of the Super Bowl Packers have been fortunate. One, Henry Jordan, died young of a heart attack. Another, Lionel Aldridge, a fine player and later a fine broadcaster, suffered a mental breakdown.
And Fuzzy Thurston, a gritty stump of a guard, suffered through a bankruptcy that wiped out a multi-million-dollar restaurant business. And worse, through a cancer operation that cost him his larynx. But Thurston has fought back, has opened a new saloon, has taught himself painfully to talk again.
And I haven't been a complete failure. Because if you got friends, you always got success.
A few months ago, Thurston and his friend Ray Nitschke organized a reunion of the team that won the first Super Bowl, and 29 of the champions showed up.
Gee, it's good to see you after all these years. Gee, you've really lifted my morale.
He's never going to remember a play.
You'll be surprised, Mr. Kramer.
Kept it all together after all these years.
It takes an act of Congress to find out what I wear.
What's your secret, old pal?
Better than my wife knows what I wear. Just knows I'm heavy, that's all.
They came in all sizes and shapes, with long hair and with almost none. Some approaching 50, some saying goodbye to it. They gathered for a golf tournament and scattered in the Wisconsin mist and uncorked the strangest variety of swings.
Oh, I don't know.
And lied about their handicaps and about the last time they played. But the main sport was reminiscing. The big game was nostalgia. Before they watched Green Bay, coached by their old teammate Forrest Gregg, play San Diego, Jerry Kramer and Fuzzy Thurston visited their old locker room, their old meeting room, now part of the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame.
Fuzz, let's pretend for a minute that I'm a rookie on the opening day of training camp, and you're Vince Lombardi. You stand up here and...
Oh, I'll give that a shot.
Give me
That'll be easy, but I'll give it a shot.
I know it's not going to be easy, but give me just a little indoctrination into the Packer legend, the Packer way of life, the Packer attitude.
Gentlemen, welcome to Green Bay. This is what football is all about. The Green Bay Packers. You are the privileged few that have been chosen, maybe, to wear the greatest colors of football. The green and gold of the Green Bay Packers.
One by one, 18 years later, the men who won Super Bowl I raced onto the field at Green Bay. To wear the green and gold once more. To hear the cheers one more time. To hug grown men once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first Super Bowl team ever.
To smile. To laugh. To giggle. To slap an opposing player one more time. To pose for pictures. To clown. To kibitz.
My wife asked me, said, where is Green Bay? I said, I don't know. I had to get a map up to find out where it was.
I did too.
To watch two football games. One on the field, one in the mind. To recapture youth. To regret age. To cheer. To remember and remember and remember. To remember what was best of all. Not that they once won a Super Bowl, but that they once loved and still did.
Dick Schaap joins us now from San Francisco, where he's awaiting the Super Bowl game. Oh, Dick, that was so nice. Tell me, did the love that these guys had for the game, did it have anything to do with high salaries? Were they making it then?
They certainly weren't. The men who play out here in the Super Bowl game this Sunday will be making more for that one game than almost all the Packers made for the whole season the year they won the first Super Bowl. They made $25,000, $30,000 all year, which seems like change compared to the $300,000, $400,000 salaries now.
Wow. And do they still have that same feeling about each other?
They do. When Herb Adderley saw Jerry Kramer recently, he said to him, "JK, I love you forever and beyond." That's an awfully long time.
And that's an awfully nice thing.
are American heroes. They've been called American gladiators. And like gladiators, their careers are often short and violent.
But I like the danger, the fact that all these guys were after me. You know, somehow it made me feel important out there. Give me the ball, I got 80,000 people looking at me, and these guys are all trying